All right. What a day. Good evening, everybody. Let's just take a second.
Good evening.
Let's take a second here and see if everything's where it should be. We've got our encoding options. I think all my settings are the way that they should be. I'm a little weirded out by some boxes. No, okay. Yes, this is just Twitch messing with me. We're good to go. I'm going to load up Boyfriend Dungeon. We're going to talk a little bit about why I'm late again, although at this point, apologizing for being late questions the sincerity because it happens so often. I need to decompress a little bit. And actually, I'm kind of happy that I'm playing Boyfriend Dungeon because I really like this game. I actually really like the music for this game in particular. And it'll give me a chance to just chat a little bit. I'll give people a chance to stop by because I know I'm like this is the point where I'd be ending on some nights. But the good news is it's Friday, and we're gonna I'm gonna do my best, and we're just gonna decompress and have a good time. But yeah, so I actually this song in particular I really like. I've gone and listen. I actually don't know how the payment on this stuff works, but I try where I can to like take music like that and play it on my own music service. So I've got Apple Music. Oh, actually, on that note, I'm going to be back in just a quick second. I might need to charge my phone. Well, I do need to change my phone, but my charger is currently otherwise occupied. So I'm just going to put that in the other room and we're not going to worry about it. So, yeah, I don't know. I like this song in particular. I think the soundtrack overall is really well done. But I think probably because I keep hearing this theme kind of come back over and over through the game, I'm like, that's a really good one. I don't know. The game's got a nice feel. I think because I have these nice feelings associated with the game, it's nice to be able to sort of recall that with the music. And like I said, when it's been a trickier day, just being able to sort of focus on something you enjoy, and in particular be able to support something that you feel strongly about. So I'll talk a little bit about that, but being able to just do some stuff that re-energizes you. It's not a bad way to end the week. So while I do apologize for the later start, know that I had some. Actually, we'll talk a little bit about the reason. So, a couple of days ago, I got a notification that. So like I tried to log into my mobile provider's login system or whatever. It didn't really work. I was like, okay, well, whatever. I can see my bill through other means. I'm not going to worry too much about it. And then I got a notification saying, you can't see your bill because of some recent changes made to your account. Log in to look at it. I'm like, okay, one, I didn't make any changes to my account, and two, I guess I need to figure this thing out. So I go in and I try and sign in. Doesn't work. And it's not a you've got the wrong password message. It's like we're having difficulty processing your request. Please try again later. Now, it turns out that's what they do whenever you have the wrong password. And it makes sense. Like, you don't necessarily want to let people know that they've got the wrong password. So today, I'm like, okay. So I actually called in on this. And the representative at the time seemed very helpful. But I am now realizing instead of actually helping me out with my problem, they kind of said, well, sometimes you'll get that message because of our maintenance. We're not actually making any changes to your account. Oh, but I'm glad that you called. I got a really good deal for you. And I'm like, okay. I've had to be on a call center. I know you're trying to make your sale, but I'm like, well, let's hear it out. And they essentially gave me the too good to be true deal, which is, oh, you get more, but it costs the same. Now, having worked with credit cards I am a little bit of a sucker for this stuff because I remember when I worked for a bank on credit card, like I am the kind of person that you'd probably hate, right? Nobody's happy calling a credit card provider. Very rarely do people call. I mean, the only time you're going to call for a good reason is basically, I'm going on vacation and I would like you to put a note on your account. That's like the only time that someone is happy to be calling the credit card provider, right? But what I did find was that, at least for me, the way that the incentive structure was built, that I actually did feel that I was able to put people on an appropriate product and still meet sales targets. So a really great example of this would be one of the things that would count as a sale is somebody going from a no fee to a fee-based credit card. I was like, well, that sounds like you're taking money from people. And to a certain extent you are. But there are a lot of people who are out there paying standard Canadian credit card rates, which at the time for me was 19.5. Now it's even higher. They're carrying that balance month to month, which means they're basically paying about 20% interest on their purchases. And their credit is otherwise good, but like basically they just don't have enough to pay the full monthly amount. But what they have are a bunch of points. And so what will happen with some of these people is that they don't want to lose their points, so they don't want to move between cards. Hey, Night Valiant. Yay. Well, basically what would happen would be, there's like the no fee points card. And like it's a gold card, because of course it's gold. You get to feel important, even though everybody has a gold card now. And I would, I'm not that bad at doing the calculations, and it's a bank. Of course I've got, a calculator beside me. At the very least, I've got it on my computer. And I'd quickly do a check in people's monthly interest payments. And like with very, very few exceptions, going from a 20% interest card to an 11.9% interest card, which, by the way, is still ridiculous in terms of financing. Like, my credit line is like 5.5%. That's the kind of thing that you should be borrowing on. Like, not double digits if you can avoid it. But like almost cutting somebody's credit card bill in half. I wouldn't even do like the yearly calculation. I'd do the monthly calculation. I'd say it's like, in the amount that you're saving in terms of your interest payments every month, you would be, paying for this monthly, you'd be paying for this annual fee. It's like $20 a year. I used to be on that credit card. That's how I know about it. You would be saving that annual fee, like a month and then some. It's like I said, the only thing about this is that it doesn't give you points. And if you don't use those points within 60 days, you will lose those points. So it's like, if you can get another credit card, you can transfer those points to another points-based card. You can use those points. At the time, they'd actually introduced financial rewards, so you could actually put your points towards like savings accounts, like a tax-free savings account. So like the thing with a tax-free savings account is you have an annual limit, but chances are if you're not paying off your credit card every month, you're not building up savings. So in this case, like, it's a $5,000 annual contribution limit. Chances are people are not going to be meeting that. I think now it's up to like $6,500. But like in this case, I said, like there's ways that you can turn that into cash. And so it's like, oh, can I use it to pay off my credit card? It's like, not right now. It turns out that now you can, but at the time you couldn't. I said, but if you put it into this tax-free savings account, put it in a savings deposit, you can just withdraw that money later and go in. Just keep in mind you have a limit as to how much you can contribute. So if you've already contributed $5,000 into that, there's like, I don't have $5,000 to contribute. And I'm like, yeah, well, I didn't want to assume, but I'm here. Like, basically, I'm trying to commute. I'm here to help you. Some of them were very suspicious, and rightly so, for the reasons that I'm, of course, pointing out here. When you talk with people on the phone who have sales targets, they're not always acting in your best interest. So some of them would say, it's like, so what do you get out of this? And I'm like, I appreciate you asking me that. I said, it's like, I'm going to be completely honest with you. If I take somebody from a no-fee card to a fee-based card, I get credited with a sale. I was like, you will lose your points if you don't use them, and I am happy to redeem those for you right now, so that you know you don't lose them. As far as I'm concerned, this is a cool glitch in the system that lets me make sure you are not giving the bank more money than you have to. And I will be very happy one day, for you to call back and have me transfer you back to that, that points-based card once you pay down your debt. Most people would say yes to that, and I'd feel good about it because, I mean, for the people who wanted advice, I would even say, because some people do call in asking for advice on how to pay down their debts. And, I'd say it's like, if you've been making the minimum payments already, don't change the payments that you've been making to your credit card, right? Because you don't want to just be paying back the interest. You want to be paying back that principal amount. The credit card company I work for actually had pretty aggressive principal payments on their monthly payments. So they were kind of on a path to not just tread water, but pay it down. But it says, keep paying the same amount because your lifestyle is presumably not going to change. But you're going to see more and more of that go towards paying it down, and the snowball is going to get rolling in the right way. I said, once you finish that, start taking that money and putting that in that tax-free savings account. Give you some breathing room and make you feel like if you're in an emergency that you're going to be able to cover that. But, in my case, like I said, I'm a sucker sometimes when people do offer the too good to be true transfer because, in my work environment, I really was trying to advocate for people's interests, and I had a way to meet my sales targets without, being a complete scumbag. So, long story short, this person says, it's like, okay, yeah, so it costs the same. And I said, okay, so just so I can be clear, I am seeing my data go from this to this, and I will see no change in my monthly fee. There's a very specific reason I said that, because someone can say it's like, yep, the plan costs the same. Well, the plan might cost the same, but the add-ons might cost something different, and that's exactly what happened. I was going to wind up I was essentially paying more for the plan, and I was also paying for my add-ons, so my monthly bill was going up. So what I noticed is after what was probably about 2 hours on the phone with my provider, and by the way, it's Rogers, so screw them. All Canadian telecom sucks, but Rogers is particularly brutal. I did notice that they said, well, it'll be 3 to 5 business days while they check in to see the claim that was made. And I was like, I noticed within an hour, the reverse comes in. I'm like, yeah, it helps when you have a recorded conversation, doesn't it? But so the story of this agent basically was that instead of actually helping me with the problem of, hey, I think somebody's changed my login for my account, they're too busy making the sale that they lied to me. And it turns out that actually somebody did. So I use an email address which is really close to my name, and it turns out that it was changed to something that looks close to my name, but it's like a Hotmail account. I didn't even know Hotmail was a thing. I don't think there was any fraud on the account, but it's really clear that my login name was changed, and that's why I wasn't able to go in. So basically, I had today off, and I spent it all talking to a telecom provider. So that's why I'm on edge, and that's why I'm late, because after all that, I had to just get a bath, eat, actually do all the stuff that I wanted to do. And of course, this is all coming after yesterday, where I did a Steam broadcast. So I got paid to be on Steam. Some of you stopped by. Thank you very much for doing that. It was a weird one because we went from 2,000 people to 200 people. But part of that was because a bunch of other games were streaming at the same time, including some really big names. There was no way we were going to beat Inscription, which is another Canadian clip, by the way. But we're here. And I might be keyed up. Obviously, I'm complaining about that whole story, but it's a chance to hang out with all of you. Also, we got Night Valiant in the chat. I'm sorry to spend that time ranting, but Night Valiant was actually one of the really nice people to stop by during the Steam broadcast. Actually, what was also funny was Night Valiant said he was really worried that I was breaking the rules, shouting him out, but the developers who are paying me are actually really, really nice. They definitely like they are actually people who have encouraged me to do things that I didn't necessarily think would be like okay or like the done thing for streams. So yeah, they're cool. And more importantly, I just think it's nice to be able to support people who like again, people on Steam broadcasts tend not to follow Twitch channels, which is fine. Like they're there to buy a game. They're not there to look for like a new live stream. If they're looking for a live stream, they'd probably be on like YouTube or Twitch. But I don't know. I think it's important to like pay that stuff forward, right? It's really through a quirk of fate that I got that opportunity. And I have definitely run into a lot of people who used to be like my best friend when they knew that I could get them access to like keys or that I was a bigger channel than them, so that I'd be doing the shoutouts and that. And I try not to hold a lot of grudges, but like I do remember, like I do keep in mind the people who suddenly like vanished when my concurrence went down, or I didn't have the associations that they wanted or whatever. And it's it's mostly just to make sure that when it comes time to like do that shout out, to either send the elevator back down or otherwise do that, like just make sure that you're spending the time on the people who are worth spending time on, that you're not necessarily just you're not sort of rewarding the people who are like the loudest or the ones who are like jumping in front of the parade, but the people who are sitting down, doing the work, being positive, being supportive, and that's whether there's 0 people watching them or 1 million people watching them, because it's Twitch. Like, I'm not making a living doing this. Most of us are making a living doing this. Like, there's no reason to like put it all on the line and like betray your best friend because you think you'll get another 10 concurrent viewers. Like, oh, thank you, Night Valiant. But yeah, I don't know. It's good stuff. So, I'm talking about myself a whole lot. I mean, this is my favorite subject, but let's talk about this game. This Boyfriend Dungeon. Kitfox Games very kindly gave me a key. It is also available on Xbox Game Pass, Microsoft Game Pass, because I don't think they want to just associate it with the Xbox. But this is a really cool game. It's a great concept, right? This is just one of these like, these are like, so Kitfox are obviously really, really talented developers and publishers, incidentally. But one of the great things about some games and movies and like just other forms of entertainment is that there are some ideas where they are such obviously good ideas that you wonder why nobody did it before. There's a website, it's very infrequently updated, but Ted Elliott and Terry Rossio, so these are a couple of Hollywood screenwriters. They've done stuff like the Pirates of the Caribbean movies and things like that. And they have this idea of like everybody's searching a beach and like everybody's just kind of sifting through the sand to try and find these like ideas, right? Movie ideas, high concept ideas, things that'll be turned into like multi-million-dollar Hollywood budget shows. And everybody's just like busy like sifting through the tiny little grains of sand, like looking for these, looking for like the gems or the really valuable stuff. And scattered across the beach are these like beautiful conch shells, which are clearly so much more valuable than whatever filament you could find, by sifting through the ground. But everybody's so busy like focusing on the granules that they're just missing like the really obvious stuff until somebody like picks it up and says, "Hey, look what I found." And everybody's like, "Oh, why didn't I think of that?" It's like Boyfriend Dungeon's like that, right? A game where you date your weapons. The weapons transform into like, because you've got so many of the ideas in the dungeon crawler that works. It's a little bit kind of like, this is a weird analogy because the parallels between these two games there's really not a whole lot there, but think of like Darkest Dungeon, right? Darkest Dungeon is like, well, you play a team, you're a team of warriors and you go into the dungeon and fight. It's like, okay, yeah, I played that game before. It's like, yes, but it's about the psychological toll that it takes from routinely going down into the dungeon and seeing, the things that humanity was not meant to see. Tell me more. I've never played that game before. That sounds awesome. Oh, and the narrator has a voice that really rumbles you down in the soul. How much? Where do I sign up? Right? And it's the same with Boyfriend Dungeon, right? You've got this, what is your most common and constant companion inside of the dungeon? Your weapon. It's like, what if you made a dungeon crawler from the weapon's perspective? Ooh, I never thought of that. It's like, well, what if you were an adventurer and you actually have the personification of your weapon and you maintain that relation? You got to take care of your weapon, Oh, that's really good. How much? Sign me up, right? I mean, again, I don't know where it came from, but it's like as soon as you see it, you just smack your again. This is not to undermine Kit Fox's work on this. I'm pretty sure it's Tanya Short who. Actually, I don't know if it's appropriate for it's Tanya X Short or Tanya Short. I believe I see you credited as Tanya X Short. So, I believe this is her idea. So again, I really don't want to fall into that trap of just saying, this one brilliant genius is the source of all that is good. But I also believe in credit where credit is due, right? There's clearly a very talented team that have made this game be something I enjoy playing. But I'm pretty sure Tanya was the one who sort of originated the idea. And again, it's not to undermine it, right? Clearly, I mean, if I recall correctly, I think the Vitran was in here confirming this. This thing predated Dream Daddy, right? There was absolutely no indication that a dating sim was sort of viable, right? Dating sims kind of at the time had been these things that you'd kind of make as a semi-pornographic game, and you'd kind of pick up the brown paper envelope sort of end of the customer base. And obviously this is so much more than that. So, tremendous credit for being able to have that idea and see through it. But it's totally one of these things where once you hear it, again, you just slam your hand against your forehead. And it's like, why didn't I think of that? That's such a good idea. I mean, the answer is I can't think of that because I'm not as good as Kit Fox, right? If this idea had been given to me as a gift, I have no development experience or ability. I would never have been able to do something with it. But they took a great idea and they made it sing. So got tons of credit to Kit Fox. Anyways, I'm done gushing about the game. Obviously, I'm grateful for the key, and more importantly, Kit Fox is a Canadian game developer filled with really wonderful people who are unbelievably supportive. I have, almost every single time... Wait a minute, why can't I... Sorry. There we go. Everything I've ever heard about Kit Fox and the people at it has always been just how supportive they are, in terms of just helping build careers, helping people sort of understand where they're, maybe where they're at or how to get to that next level of their career. And so it's really great to see something like this. And by the way, I am personally somebody who's benefited from this. Kit Fox gave me the opportunity to host some data analysis on their blog. That's the first game analysis I've ever done. And it led to me getting in touch with a couple more people who had some data for me. So, again, they had really nothing to gain from doing that. My rating isn't that good. Obviously, it was the Vitran Victoria Tran. Victoria and Tanya's really good comments and sort of their revisions that made that blog worth reading. And you know, like I'm sure the data analysis was interesting in a certain way, but it's not like it didn't make Boyfriend Dungeon sell any more units. You know, it was just, you know, helping to try and create a little more understanding of a topic that I felt was not very well understood, which was sort of the expected value of a wish list, and sort of trying to help people come up with an idea about what a wish list is worth, because there's been this big effort to try and capture more wish lists. But if you can't value a wish list, in theory, you wind up just putting infinite amounts of money to pursue something that gets you less than infinite amounts of money, right? If you optimize for wish lists, that's something you might wind up doing. So again, just it's cool to see good people have be met with success. Anyways, Sawyer. That kicks. It's my favorite place. Sure. Perfect. See you there. How about a movie? I could go for horror or action. Ooh. I always wonder if there would be any value in having some kind of Twitch integration where, you know, like, because I think Larian's doing this with Baldur's Gate 3. I know there's a couple of games, or I think actually Disco Elysium is doing this as well. The thing is I don't know how hard that is to implement. I know, like, for Amazon, they were really selling that as a feature of Lumberyard, and I'm like, you know, I get that Twitch is a thing, but I don't really know if, like, you're going to make a decision about your entire production pipeline around the idea that it's easier to do chat interaction. So let's do action. I know it's October, but yeah, okay. How about we see The Dunge? It's showing at 6:30 most nights. I heard it's good. Let me know. Okay, let's go. Meet you inside. Don't bring the fan club. What if it's my fan club? It's time. It is time. Let's dance. Again? What's that supposed to mean? Am I too old to understand this game? I've never thought a poo emoji meant something good. Okay, the muffin stench is gone, mostly. Want to come see my work some evening? Sounds good. Can't wait. I think at this point I'm just going to craft everything I can. You made a racing game. Wait for a gift opportunity. Okay. Dark eyeliner. Bucket. Bouquet of daisies. Sugar daisies? Silver ring. Summer dress. Sun hat. Cool, we've crafted everything. Console unlocked. You can now access the console in your apartment. Ooh. Oh, neat! I bet this is the... Yeah, okay. Doom! Rumor has it this is an early build of the Dwarf Fortress Steam Edition. my god, I'm so bad at this. That wasn't well done. Okay, let's see if we can do better. I've never played Off-Road. It's neat though. Like I kind of wonder. I mean, I can see like just in terms of like quality adjustments over time why this kind of game might fall out. But like the feel's so like unusual, but like really good. Like if this is what old racing games were like, I kind of wish that these would make a comeback because I definitely prefer this to sort of the push towards realism. Like generally racing is not a genre I'm very comfortable with. Like I actually quite like the Need for Speed series because they abstract away a lot of the more serious stuff, but Mwahaha! The day is mine! Aw. So I'll have to read the chat in a little bit. It's getting intense. Oh yeah! No! No! I blew it. Oh Jesus! What a heartbreaker. All right. No, it's all good. Off-Road was slippery like this, but you use an actual wheel that would spin endlessly. Oh man, that would be great. Like I obviously. Like, if nothing else, I'm pretty sure we learned over a short period of time that there's a limit to the amount of plastic crap that you're willing to have, like, load up in your apartment. So, like, I'm sure there's a landfill somewhere with a billion, like, Rock Band / Guitar Hero kits. It's a shame, right? Because, like, that sort of stuff is really great. Like, I have fond memories of like, Rock Band, but... You know, I think there was around that time too. There was like a Tony Hawk with like a skateboard, and there's like DJ Hero, and there was like there's a limit as to how far some of this stuff goes. But I don't know. I definitely I could see this, like, why that would be really fun with a wheel. I gotta see, actually, when I go to Vancouver, there's an old arcade which used to have a couple of games I really like. Sadly, no Afterburner 2, but I gotta see if that arcade's still around because I had a couple pinball machines I really like. So, anyways, we're not here for the bug racing. Let's do it in order. So I think it was Sawyer who. I probably have. Like, I know swimming pools, like, almost always have arcades. Like, I think the first time I ever saw Bubble Bobble was in, like, a swimming pool. Or I guess it's a rec center, but I think of it as a swimming pool because, like, that's the only thing I ever went to. So, you arrive to find Sawyer and Olivia arguing. No more freebies. You haven't worked here for, like, a year. Come on, just one more measly sandwich. I owe friend big time, please. Is your friend Alfred by any chance? Huh? How did you know?
Hi.
Oh, hi, Alfred. I'm just, paying for us both? Sawyer digs in their pockets for money, blushing. Oh, here, I found this. How many of these can I give you? They hold out 5 lumps of sugar in their palm. Olivia shakes her head. Sawyer seems slightly panicked. I'll pay.
Uh-uh.
Oh no, Alfred, put your money away. But Sawyer, I swear to all the gods, this is the last time, okay?
Yeah!
You bet. Thanks. You're the best, Livy. Wait, is this the author of the history of... sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, I am. You sit at the table. It doesn't look like Sawyer has anything to eat. You want to split this?
No.
Oh, I'm fine. Don't worry about it. I feel really bad. I actually really like paying for stuff. For people. I mean, like, I do need to maybe keep that under control, but, like, I actually really like treating people. As you eat, you see their eyes tracking your sandwich carefully, unable to stop staring. No, don't slow down. Sorry. Let's talk about something else. They swallow hard and avert their eyes. I insist. At your more forceful invitation, Sawyer takes half and wolfs it in 2 bites. Thanks. Good stuff. Here, I want you to have these, okay? They give you a few sugar lumps. You awkwardly stuff them in your pocket. Sawyer smiles, pleased with themselves. I actually really like this character. Hey, I was looking online yesterday, and a lot of weapons in Verona Beach are getting chipped lately. Maybe there's something about the dry summer heat that makes us brittle. Maybe someone's doing it. What, chipping us on purpose? A serial chipper? I'm not sure what the point would be. I hope they're not targeting students in particular. That'd be so creepy. Sawyer's eyes wander back to your plate, where only crumbs remain. A wildcat growl erupts from under the table. Is there an animal loose in here? After a moment, you realize it's Sawyer's stomach. Sorry, jeez. Even after you shared your sandwich with me, to be honest, I can't afford to eat much. I had a good job for a while, and I get free rent from my mom, but it's hard. How do people afford eating anyway? Is everyone rich? Restaurants are so expensive. And they rip people off. Scones only cost like 10 cents of flour and 10 cents of butter. Aha, Sawyer. Well, I'm going to explain to you that it is in fact the labor that contributes. Sorry. I'm in business class, and it seems like someone could disrupt that market easily. Cut out the middleman. Buy the ingredients yourself. I could make an app that tells you how much to make a dish like a restaurant would. You'd save costs by not paying a waiter or a hostess. Good, too. Boom. What do you think? You just invented cooking.
Huh?
Oh, yeah, cooking. That's what it's called. Ugh, this is all so dumb. I don't know. I hate business stuff. To be honest, I'm more into history class. Okay. I really like Sawyer. I was just taking it for easy credits, but everyone in the class is so competitive. I have to come up with a business idea for my semester project. This is all I got. My next step would be documenting the process. Cooking, to use a technical term. But I don't even know how to boil an egg. I tried once and ended up with a black husk. I could teach you. That would be amazing. I'll do a little research on egg boiling first, but then I'll hit you up for lessons. If I bring the ingredients, will you... Do you think... What? Sawyer takes a breath and gathers their courage. Is it a date? We'll see.
Yep.
Okay, I'll try to play it cool, yeah? I gotta get to history, but let me know when you're heading to the dungeon. I did some first aid on my cracked blade. I'm ready to fight again. Heavy attack throws the glaive, immobilizing enemies. They can still attack. Okay.
Bye.
Talk to you soon. You head home. Sounds like to boil an egg, you have to use a lot of water, like a whole pot full. So that was my problem. I don't remember who messaged us. So Seven, Sunder, and Valeria. You and Seven find your seats as the movie starts. The film features a virtuous hero struggling against the odds to save her son. We can do this, but we have to work together. I bet the son's going to become a sword to save her. A katana, maybe? Before long, the sidekick dies, and Seven frowns. Eventually, the hero mother emerges victorious, son standing proudly beside her. The lights come up, and you leave the theater. Oh man, maybe I set my expectations too high. I mean, it was fine. What did you think? I like the adrenaline. Your heart rate goes up watching this stuff? You, the Dunge hero? That's kind of funny. Would you like to offer a gift? I'm not sure I know what he wants yet. Let's take a look. Aha, we found someone for the fried mackerel. Although we are already at the top level, so yeah, let's get out of there. You decide not to give a gift right now. Number 2. All right, we've got long distance, chain lightning can reach further, or paralysis, chain lightning stuns enemies. I do like the idea of stunning enemies. I think that's probably going to help me with some of the problems I ran into. Oh, wow. Hi, guys. I totally didn't know you'd be here.
Hey.
Seven makes a face as if pleading silently for rescue. We were just leaving. I hadn't seen you around the cafe lately, but I wanted to give you something. Wait up, you just saw me yesterday. Seven, I wrote this person a letter.
Yeah.
All right, I'll take it. Fans are important to me. No, that is... Sorry, can you deliver it for me? Seven blinks. It's for Sungwoo, my ultimate bias. Can you give it to him for me? Pretty please? He stares at her for several seconds.
Nuh-uh.
Seven walks away.
Huh?
Wow, fame sure has gone to his head, huh? Olivia's holding an envelope, Sungwoo written on it with hearts for O's. I'll just have to figure out where Sungwoo's staying, I guess. That's stalking. It's not stalking if I don't bother him. It's just a letter. Nothing creepy in it either. She sighs dreamily and wanders away. You head home. Had to go. Sorry. Talk to you later. We probably blew it there, but yeah. Wait, was it Sunder or Valerian? I can never remember, sorry. Sunder and then Valeria. So I do want to check out the dungeon, but again, I'm trying to keep on top of the side missions. The music is dark and coppery tonight, flavored with industrial tones. All right, I can get used to this. Sunder returns from break outside with a wild glint in his eyes. That easy, huh? Okay, Sticky. Bleeding enemies move slower, or Drain. Bleeding enemies do less damage. Definitely prefer Drain. The music gains ferocity and speed as you dance. Eventually, the night draws to a close, and the club empties. You stumble outside. The crowd of loiterers smells like gin and cigarette smoke. A scream pierces the chatter. Oh my god! Someone call 911! People gather around something on the ground. Oh shit, is he dead? I don't know, that's messed up, man. Go home, people, it's alright. An ambulance is already on the way. Ugh. I don't have energy for this tonight. Take care of it. Yes, sir. Sunder stalks away towards Kick's Cafe. Asks the bouncer for info. The ambulance is on its way. Sunder will pay for it from his tab. More than that, I can't say. You'll have to ask him. You go to the cafe. The cafe smells like coffee and buttered pastries. Welcome. That one's your friend, right? We're closing soon, so hurry it up. She waves you nervously towards Sunder, who's lounging in a corner.
Hey.
He seems distracted, restless. There's something I haven't told you yet. I don't really know how to put this, but if you don't like me afterwards, I guess that's fine. Take your time. Okay, thanks. I'm not sure how to explain it, but... So, you know how sometimes you have a craving for, like, chocolate? You don't know me, man! For those of you who are just joining, we've picked Choco Fudge, like, every single time the, ice cream options come up. And then some people are made of chocolate. No, this isn't working. Okay, let me start over. Once there was a beautiful princess who promised a young man that he could live forever.
Hey.
Speak of the devil. Right. How was my timing? Yeah, perfect, Mandy. Hey. Messy meal tonight, huh? Should have brought a bib. Ugh. You came here just to rub it in? Fine. Alfred, listen up. He'll be here all night the way he tells it. So I'll just tell you. Sunder's 200 years old. We use blood transfusions to stay young. You're vampires?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Sunder shrugs it off. See? Being upfront makes it easier. Not like Alfred's a vampire hunter. Vampire schmampire. Gee, I can't imagine why I'd pretend to be a good boyfriend instead. Whatever. Time to go, Sunder. Leave your playmate to think about being your food.
Hey!
Don't be ridiculous. I'd never eat Alfred. He's special. I'm a vampiric sword, not a monster. You should just own what you are, kiddo. All of it. Denial's a bad look. Alfred, don't listen to her, okay? I'll text you. I still want this to work, somehow.
Aww.
Don't pressure. Kept a pretty big secret, so give him time to adjust. Sundra leaves, eyes downcast. Don't get me wrong, Alfred. The problem isn't just that Sunder's a vampire. Though it can't help that you smell like dinner, the main problem is that he's selfish and fickle. I'd use this whole thing as an excuse to get far away. Here's something to remember us by. You found dark essence, the shadow lurking in every heart. She hands you a small pouch. It smells sinful. It's not your problem. Mandy leaves without answering. Sorry I didn't tell you sooner. I was afraid you'd leave. Now that you know what I am, what do you think? Apologize properly. Sorry, really. I guess I'll see you in the dungeon. Still thinking about that movie. The characters are so stupid. The villain should have seen them coming. Fictional characters make the worst decisions. Makes a good story. So if someone writes my biography, will they make me look dumb to sell more copies? I hope not. Oh well. You turn onto the street that houses Valeria's art studio. But the smile on your face drops off as you see Jake walk out. Confront him. You stand in front of him, arms crossed, trying to project confidence. Maybe just the tiniest bit of menace. Get out of my way. Leave Valeria alone. Really don't know her at all, do you? She hates it when people try to protect her.
Oh, yeah?
I'm just trying to walk down the street, and you won't let me? No, I mean, wow, you really thought this whole confront the evil ex-boyfriend thing through, huh? Look, can we skip the bullshit? You're just jealous. And that's your problem, not mine. He gives you a grin and then saunters away, whistling. You watch him walk away, and then turn to look at Valeria's door. You should just leave Jake alone and go in. Yeah, you will. Anytime now. Enter the studio. The studio smells of paint and some kind of woody, spiced perfume.
Hey.
Oh, I thought you'd be here later. Did you see Jake? Yeah, I talked to him. He's being ridiculous right now. Thank you for being honest with me. Speaking of which, she twirls a strand of hair nervously and looks away. Speaking messy, I have something to show you.
Huh.
I want to trust you with a new part of me, and I'm not sure that I should. Do you really want to know who I am? I want you to be honest. It's a big step, but I want to take it with you. Me too.
Yeah.
Really? Okay then. Come with me. You walk through Verona Breach with Valeria, holding hands in near silence. Both of you are nervous with anticipation. It feels palpable between you. You keep walking until you reach the mall. Valeria tugs you to the side. She searches your face as you take in the mural on the once plain wall. What do you think? It's a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's meant to be. It's meant to be riotous. This is my last secret, mine and Jake's and Jessica's. We are the Roses of Venus. That's what we made together. We bring beauty and love to the streets, around the world. You're one of maybe 30 people in the whole world who knows who we are. It's a big secret. What, being an internationally renowned art provocateur?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, I guess I just trust you. Well, that's my secret. This is who I am. Istanbul, Paris, Tokyo, New York, London, Shanghai, and now Verona Beach. Our last job all together was the Louvre. It got us a lot of attention. I think we're wanted by Interpol now. And Jessica wanted more of it. The more dangerous it got, the better. I just needed to get away from it all. Lie low. No chance of running into Jessica on Main Street. This is the opposite of her scene. Valeria looks at you, the truth of her painted on the wall behind, impossibly bright. Okay, so we've got open-minded. Heavy finishers have a wider damage area, or pommel strike. Heavy finishers confuse enemies. I think we'll do the wider damage area, although I've definitely found Valeria the harder weapon to handle. Sean, how you doing? Guys, it's actually been a while since I've had a chance to talk with or show off Sean's stuff, so let me just take a second here to bring up Edge. I actually missed the last couple the last dirty rectangles, so let me just take a second here. Oh, good. Okay, so I didn't know if you'd been checking them out either way, but I wouldn't have seen you because I wasn't there myself. But I'm always fond of drawing your attention. This is probably the best place to go because I know Sean's got like his site, his Twitter, all of that sort of listed on the itch website. But Sean's really one of the first people who I met through the local game dev community. It's a group called Dirty Rectangles, and there's everyone from sort of professional developers who've been working on Secret Legend, either former and current Cuphead developers, to people who are making some of their first games, or some people who are still in school for game development. It's a pretty open group, and definitely lots of interesting things coming out of it. Where I can, I've tried to show off some of the stuff, and some of you will recognize some of those games because I have played some of Sean's stuff on the stream as well. But again, somebody who he's got definitely a talent for showmanship. I think whenever he shows something, it's usually very fun to watch him present alongside the actual work itself. But he's definitely somebody who sort of helped me hook in. I'll actually say I can give a little more detail here because the person in question turned out to be a dick, and now like the world knows they're a dick. And the thing is that there's definitely more people like that, but I tend to keep that stuff to myself because like until it's like widely revealed that they're a dick, then you just get mashed by their wider reputation, right? Sorry, I'm just gonna sit. But my actual first experience was going to a Unity user group, and at it there was this really loud and opinionated guy about how like going to university was for losers and how like they didn't need to go to university and they turned out fine and blah 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 blah. And this person is now rather well known for sort of firing a bunch of employees before a Thanksgiving holiday, really just like acting like the kind of douchebag you would think would be the one. I mean, all sorts of other stuff, you know, other like personal stuff, which probably isn't worth going into right now. But like somebody who kind of went from being supported by the local scene to someone who is actively antagonistic towards it, and definitely sort of extracting a lot of money and talent, and not necessarily giving back. So, you know, I can remember sitting there listening to this, and I'm like, it's like, I don't know who you are, but like, I really don't like you. And, you know, I'm sure one day when you actually need to get something done, you are going to be relying on one of those idiots who got a university education. So like, I was genuinely kind of at a point, I'm like, you know what, I got better stuff to do than listen to this nonsense. But then I did sort of check out this local thing called Dirty Rectangles. And the funny thing about it was I actually talked with a guy who started with the really dodgy question to the stars, like, what do you think of Jordan Peterson? And then like going on to like largely repeat what that individual says, as if it was very profound and as if I'd sort of never thought of it before. We'd obviously sort of talked a little bit before, but I was like, okay, yeah, one of these guys. And I'm like, you know, again, apologies to those of you who like him. I realized that there's, first of all, he just writes or like says a lot of stuff. So, you know, I've definitely had a few people who are like, what's the deal with this guy? Like, is he legit? Is he okay? And I definitely know there's a few people who watch my stuff who quite like him. I am not someone who likes him. And, you know, I can go into those reasons later, but I also think what I think about a particular figure probably shouldn't have that much bearing on yours, right? If I want to talk about the ideas, I should talk about the ideas. And if I want to talk about the person, you know, I can talk about the person, but that doesn't have a bearing on whether or not what they have to say is, you know, is good or legitimate or whatnot. But with all of that in mind, there is a certain type of person. Generally, if you start the conversation with, what do you think of Jordan Peterson? It's a little bit like, you know, like to me, that's the way I'd start that conversation if I wanted a seat to myself on the bus. Like usually someone will go away. And like, sure enough, all of sort of the little cockroaches that you'd expect to be lying under that rock showed up. So I'm thinking to myself, I was like, oh my God, what's happening in like Ottawa Game Dev? And then, you know, Sean gave his presentation. So I don't know if you'll remember this, Sean, but this was your... definitely not an MMO game, and I think we talked a little bit after that. And if I recall correctly, Owen showed his... I mean, we now know the game as Radio Viscera, but I think he was just showing off his engine at that point. So like the presentations were really good, and like you were obviously really friendly, and you know, Jonah and Derek were there, and Eric, and you know, all really friendly, and you know, very, very different from what this other guy was. I've never seen him since. Like he was there for one presentation, but like, man, think about what a hard job like you and Jonah and Eric and Derek all had. Like, it's not just it's not just the fact that you need to, you know, to outdo that first horrible experience with you know, he who will not be named, but this other guy. But obviously, you know, I've stuck around for better or worse. You know, I don't know if I really contribute anything, but I'm happy to sort of tout and talk about the cool stuff that's happening in Ottawa. But yeah, needless to say, like you guys were filling in a really big hole from my first impressions of Ottawa Game Dev. Anyway, so some of that's kind of like inside baseball, and again, I don't like focusing on the negative stuff, but like I said, actually one really nice side effect of the switch to the digital format for Dirty Rectangles is that And I've been hosting it when it's been going on, but some of you've had a chance to be able to see some of you had a chance to be able to see some of the presentations going on with Dirty Rectangles. And the nice thing about it is like, you know, not everything like really connects with me. But I, you know, that's kind of the way it should be, because if everything is sort of easy to digest, or if everything looks like a perfectly polished gem, it probably means that there are people who are not being able to express what they wanted. Whereas if I get to see a bunch of stuff with like hair on it, or I'm like, oh man, what is this? Like, I have no idea what's going on. It means that people are taking risks, and you know, you that's the sort of things that you want to support in an environment. So for those of you who might have been turned off by some of the earlier stuff, like, definitely stick around for it. Like, there will be more for you to see. It's also just really great. The longer you stick around with something like that, you get to see people really grow. Like, you get to see people make things that you never would have expected them to based on like a first person. It's not just, I don't mean to suggest like everything that's coming out is like really bad or whatever, like, but you get to, it's really interesting to just sort of see over time things that maybe you wouldn't give a second glance to, like, turn into something that you're really interested in. And I think there's something exciting about that, because most of the time, like when I play Boyfriend Dungeon, I don't get to know what this game looked like when everybody was sort of, well, I don't know if there was a team where the point where the team was saying, it's like, oh, this is gonna fail, we'll never get out of this miserable bit. But apparently every project like hits that point. So obviously I'm never gonna get to see what it was like in the Valley of Despair when people weren't sure what the end result would be like. Yeah, always nice when you stick around long enough to see the terrible people outed for their terribleness. Yeah, well, I mean, I don't want to... So, obviously, I would have rather the people kept their jobs, but it sounds like it wasn't the nicest place to work, you know, before the really awful stuff happened. And I mean, to a certain extent, right, like, the fact that the thing is, I'm reasonably secure in my education. Like, the fact that someone doesn't appreciate the value of study, that's their problem, not mine. But it is really annoying to like show up to a user group and find out that, like, again, you just kind of feel like your time's wasted. So suffice to say, I would rather it be that people didn't have to lose their jobs, you know, for more people to discover what a dickhead the guy was. But in the second best world, yeah, it is definitely, it's better. Okay, so the wry satisfaction I will have is like to basically be able to see what they did in that AMA, and it being like, wow, you really have kind of been reading your own headlines for a little too long. Like, how could you have possibly thought that this was a good idea? But you know, again, like I try to keep somewhat measured in terms of that stuff, because, you know, again, like, I'm not entirely sure I'd want to say like, okay, you know, I'm glad the studio blew up so that the world could see that this guy who inconvenienced me at a Unity meetup did well. But I know what you meant by it. It's just I try not to dance on graves too much, because obviously the people affected by that are not, like, it's not the jerk who really lost. You know, Twitter is not real life, so, you know, presumably they still have the money from the game they made. On that depressing note, on to a good game. Plus, I'm really starting to like it here. More than like it, maybe. You stand together, people talk about the mural, and take pictures as the sun goes down. Would you like to offer a gift? I might have already offered her... Yes, I think I already offered her the gold necklace. So I'm sure there's other things I can... I'm sure there's other things that I can gift, but I'm not quite sure what yet. You head home. Sucks when when blood stains your good velvet. I wouldn't know. Just thinking of you. thinking. I mean, I just wanted to talk to someone, you know? Message anytime. Okay. That means he's a communist! You know, the order's probably been messed up, but... Actually, no, there should only be one more. So it was Sunder Valeria 7, Sawyer. Sunder Valeria 7, Sawyer. Actually, I think there was just 4 dates that we needed to go on. So we would be doing the Dungeon La Rosa. Yes. This might be just because I'm a Milton fan, but I really, really like Paradise Lost as a name. Okay, so we're max with Isaac. Everybody else... So the question, like the big problem I run into is I'm not sure if I should be trying to start with Sawyer and go from like the low level to the max level, or if I should just try and, you know, get what I can from... You know what, I think I'll start with Valeria because I tend to find her the most difficult to wield, and then we'll get a kind of a feel of the dungeon that we're with, and then we'll make a decision in terms of kind of where we think the progress will go. Actually, I was meaning to ask Ron, have you had a chance to play
really
this
needs
yet?
to clean this place up.
It's on your ever-growing backlog. So I'm sure you've played Moon Hunters. The one thing that maybe surprised me a little bit about this, like, I get that I'm not really the intended audience for this kind of game, but I was surprised at how much I enjoy the dungeon crawling bits. I actually think if there was one problem, it's that I didn't engage with the story as much the last time I played this, because I spent so much time in the dungeon. So, I mean, again, like, I really like Moon Hunters. I really like that combat style, and I think a lot of the things that I liked about Moon Hunts are present here. So to me, the fact that there's this nice little dating sim attached to it, to me is the icing on the cake, where, of course, the big hook is actually the date the weapons thing, and, you know, there's a dungeon crawler attached to it. But, no, I think it's worth it. Like, I suspect that you don't need any more reasons to try this out, but it's like, I think it's solid. Like, it's definitely across the board. I think it's a good time. I only need to say that like 37 more times, and I've filled my requirement for getting a key from Kickstarter. Your experience with Moon Hunters was a bit clunky, but having seen videos of this, you're clearly tightened up the combat a lot. You know, the funny thing about Moon Hunters was somebody had recommended it to me, and I didn't dislike it, but I wasn't quite sure what the thrill was. And later I tried it on my own, and it really landed with me. Which is a shame, because of course, like, now the multiplayer is not working because Unity decided to stop supporting the technology behind it. But yeah, like it actually took me a second look to get into Moon Hunters, and now I'm really fond of it. But yeah, I mean, clearly, Boyfriend Dungeon is it just reflects the growth and the experience. Night, and it is D-Pain. Thank you very much for your hosts. Why in heaven's name is my... Oh, wait, sorry. That's on me. I actually turned off the browser because of the Steam stream yesterday. I am so sorry that you didn't get your... Oh my goodness, and we've got Ecorb. All right, so we got Night 97 was the first one. I know Night 97 from it is D-Pain's podcast. Well, it is D-Pain's and Apocalypse's podcast. And Icorb, I believe you were... I did see your tweets, so you were playing with D-Pain, right? Anyways, let's get these shout-outs out. But I don't know what you guys were playing tonight. My phone is out of battery, so I'm not even able to like go back and check those. Not even able to go back and check out those tweets to pretend that I knew what you were playing. A variety pack. Okay, good. So, but yeah, so I definitely know it is D-Pain and Night 97 better. I know Night 97 originally from D-Pain's channel, but of course had the pleasure of talking with him, D-Pain, and Apocalypse about their favorite science fiction stories in... Thank you kindly for the follow. See, I got the browser up for that. Oh, Clue! Interesting. I didn't even realize there was a digital Clue. It's been a really long time since I played that. But yeah, so Night 97 and D-Pain I know a little bit better, but I know I've been trying to convince It Is D-Pain to play the Red Death mode for Civilization 6 like he said he would, but I believe all three of you were in the Civ 6 game, as well as the Endless Space 2, if I'm not mistaken. But a group of wonderful streamers, ones who actually do a much better job of hosting me than I host them. I do occasionally get a chance to catch Night's... sorry, EOG. Okay. I don't know your friend circle at all. I'm sorry. I'm just gonna stop trying to pretend I know the... Wait, part of your Friday night... Okay. I'm glad there's at least a proper connection, because I'm like, oh god, am I getting this wrong again? They're never gonna want to talk to me again. Anyways, should I just call you like D-Pain's people? That's kind of mean, because obviously you all have your own channels. But anyways, I do get a chance to occasionally stop by, not nearly as much as they stop by mine, and I do feel like a little bit of a heel every time I see them stop by the channel, or host, or raid. But for those of you who want to try and dig me out of this social awkwardness, do feel free to give them a follow, check them out, because they actually... I'd say that they're probably better at variety casting than I am. I play games very slowly, so while I might be a variety broadcaster, I have a very long time that I'll be playing the same thing to get through them. But call them that, boost your ego. You totally said that you were going to play Red Death, and then you stopped playing Civ 6, and then I remind you every single time you are not playing Red Death. It is legitimately good like it was an April Fool's joke, and it was not originally designed as something serious, but it is actually a very good mode, and it is surprising how well Civ 6 works as a battle royale. You can even play it against the AI if you don't want to deal with like a hardened, Civ 6 veteran with like every civilization's artifacts like just sitting in a wagon beside them. Anyways, I hope you're all doing well tonight. I got a really late start, but I am enjoying a wonderful game by Kitfox Games, which is a Canadian developer based in Montreal. They did give me a key for this game, but they are a really, really great group of people who make interesting games. You might have played some of them, Moon Hunters, Lucifer Within Us, The Shrouded Isle, and they've got a few games which they are publishers for. Paparazzi. Mondo Museum used to be one of them, but I believe that game is sort of on an indefinite hiatus, or outright cancelled for all I know. They also did Shattered Planet, but I suspect that may not be the one that people know them for directly. This is almost certainly their most well-known and popular game. But again, they are going to be publishing Dwarf Fortress, the Steam version, which I have a feeling will definitely be drawing even more attention to them. Dungeons and D&D? You find a set of bladed brass knuckles. It looks like some of the claws are missing. An engraving on the side reads, Pocket.
Huh?
This must be a nickname of some kind. At your touch, the metal begins to stretch and grow. Okay, I should probably explain this to you. How many of you, well, I mean, anybody really, but among the hosts and those coming from the channels, how many of you know what Boyfriend Dungeon is? Because it's got a great premise, but it should probably be explained. Nice kitty. Cat eyes you warily, but allows you to come closer. You find a phone number on his collar. You put it into your phone before he scampers off. One thing I actually really like about the weapons is I definitely, like for the dagger, I kind of feel it is more of a brawly weapon, which I sort of think is appropriate for a dagger. So I do kind of like the fact that, or like with the S-Stock, like you kind of feel like there's a certain, you feel like there's a certain precision or refinement to the weapon, largely reflecting the character. But please explain. Okay, I've been keeping an eye on this game for a while. I just haven't had plans to pick it up yet. Well, this is one I really want to see Apocalypse play. But yeah, so for those of you unfamiliar with Boyfriend Dungeon, basically the idea here is that this is a dating simulator in which it's a dungeon crawler, but you date your weapons. So your weapons can transform into impossibly hot people. And, it's so again, the connection that I made was a weird one where I said it's a little bit like Darkest Dungeon in the sense that, you hear there's one way of giving the pitch for Darkest Dungeon, which is, okay, you're a team of adventurers and you fight the beasts that humankind was never meant to see in the dungeon. And you're like, yeah, okay, I've seen that game already. And then it's like, but it's about the psychological toll that constantly fighting those monsters takes on you. Oh, all right. I'm really interested in this. So likewise, in the case of Boyfriend Dungeon, you can kind of imagine almost a pitch for it being like, what if you had a dungeon crawler from the weapon's point of view? Well, you don't play the weapon in this, but it's like, oh, okay, actually, that's kind of a neat idea. Like, what is the weapon's view? Well, in this case here, you're still the adventurer, and you might have your pick of weapon, but like, the weapons have their own opinions, right? Like, they have intentions. You need to build a relationship with them. You need to care and work through it. Like, it's something that actually fits really, really well. Did you mention Disco? I did mention Disco Elysium earlier, but I more so in the context of Twitch integration. But Disco Elysium looks great. I really do want to do Disco Elysium. I've played a little bit of it to realize how ridiculous and amazing that game is. The one problem is they've now released the final cut, so what would have been good for me to be able to read some of those moments, like okay, actually, tell you what. I don't normally do this, but I'll let you guys see a little peek of this is not going to be Boyfriend Dungeon related, but seeing as we're talking about oh no, where's this YouTube video? Which one? Oh god. Oh, Orthodox Chance? Yeah. Okay, cool. This is just going to take me a minute to find. Please enjoy the fancy music. How do I even figure this out? Okay, I gotta be a little careful with this video. So, what's the... Okay, so like, how do I explain this? Every once in a while, for a number of different reasons, I will do a video for people. And sometimes it's someone who, I think someone will like a game. Sometimes it's somebody maybe who I knew back in Vancouver and, I want to reconnect with them, and being able to like show, just kind of share a game that I enjoy, with them, just gives them a chance to hear me talk. And sometimes this stuff actually winds up, resulting in a broadcast. You can leave. I think I missed the context for that, but yes, you are allowed to. You are allowed to go. You have my permission. But yeah, so in this case here, I actually have about 2.5 hours of me playing Disco Elysium, partly to just explain to a friend who really likes Baldur's Gate, why this might be a game that they're interested in. But the thing is, I had actually played that much, and I also noticed that the choices I was making on like a brand new save were totally different from the one that I did when I just took like a first look at the game. So anyways, like these little side videos can be everything from like teaching someone how to play a game to just, equivalent to like leaving a voicemail or something like that. So this is one of those cases. I actually have video of me playing Disco Elysium, but it's a private video so that only like people who know the link to it can see it. So this is a fragment of that. I hope I got the right time. What was funny about this one was I could not read most of the descriptions without cracking up. And then I hit this moment, which, well, I'll let it explain itself. Oh. Not so fast, he points to you. You owe me 130 real. Slip away unnoticed. Sorry, I gotta calm down before I can read this. I have hardly succeeded at any of my physical challenges yet. One moment you're running like the wind, and then you suddenly turned around and are giving the finger furiously with both hands. Why? Why did I do this? Why did I have to use both hands to flip him off? Why both? Watch out! That is not the only time I cannot hold it together while playing that game. So, yeah, it's not so clear on a video like that. But yes, it like you not only is it like this really inept moment where you just like run, you like slip away unnoticed and you just see him do a full sprint to the door. But yeah, you do see him flipping off the guy. So like I'm sure that moment is probably not as funny as that for for other people, but like especially because I think there'd been this moment where like I had been drinking like alcohol off of off of a countertop while my partner is like desperately trying to look forward and pretend like they're not noticing. I think that was another time that I cracked up. Like just that game is something else. And so yeah, I have no idea. So to answer your question in terms of whether or not I could what do my friend think? They immediately bought Disco Elysium and wanted to play it. But yeah, so to answer your question about could you edit it for public? So actually, this is a story. I've been saving up for a really long time for a replacement laptop, and it was going to be one of the new Mac Pros when they released. And the plan for that was I would use that for video editing because I'm definitely much more comfortable with Final Cut. I would also use that as sort of a basis for some audio recording for things like, you know, audiobooks and such. And the promotion so for those of you who don't know, like I was turned over for a promotion in my existing job for really dumb reasons. There's a bit of a process going on for that now because there are certainly some people who think that was an incredibly bad choice and they realize what that probably means for me staying there. And then there's another set of people who thought that, like, screw me, right? So the thing is that, like, I had actually ordered the laptop and I canceled the order the next day because that was where that promotion information came in. And one of the reasons for that was I still have some debt and I took the job that I have because I'd run out of money in school. And I think a very large part of the dissatisfaction I felt with my position is not just like I had one idea about what I would be doing, and in fact was told I'd be doing a set of things that ultimately didn't turn out. And to a certain extent, you know, it's like, okay, well, you know, you couldn't have known, but like now I know that this isn't great. There's the question about whether or not, you know, like, why am I staying? Obviously I am looking for other opportunities. I may hear back from Ubisoft within the next week, I think. But given that context, I also sort of decided that it would be better for me, like, given the fact that this particular problem has its origins in the fact that I took a job through financial necessity, I thought it might be a little bit better to just bite the bullet, not get the cool toy, even if that meant not doing some of the things I wanted to do with the channel as a result. And, you know, get myself, I have a game plan. I think probably I can have those debts paid off within 7 to 9 months. And from that, I would then, you know, I'd sort of rebuild the savings and put it in there. But essentially, like, there's something very freeing about not feeling sort of the specter of debt holding over you. And so I kind of made the hard decision to push back those plans for video editing and audio. So this is one of the reasons I was reluctant to show that, right? Because there is a future in which I can imagine stuff like that, which I've recorded privately, being cut up and turned into stuff that will be on YouTube a little bit more. And obviously, I don't have to have a nice setup with like all of the programs that I really want to be able to record audiobooks. I do want to do that as well. But I also think there's something to be said for recognizing times that I've made bad decisions and trying to limit the circumstances under which I make those decisions. So, and then of course, again, like if I've definitely been applying to a few more things, and if there's an opportunity that I think fits well, then, you know, I'm back on track. Like there's always going to be a computer for me to buy, right? And it doesn't have to be that particular computer. But yeah, that's grim stuff to talk about. Nobody wants to hear a streamer talk about, oh, you know, I have my streaming set up, but I need a better computer. Like nobody needs to hear that, right? There are people who don't have jobs during COVID. Like it's not there's other ways around those problems. But that's, you know, those are kind of the circumstances. Yeah, no, it definitely would be fun. I mean, the challenge with Disco Elysium would be I don't think I would have that done soon. I definitely need to make sure that I don't have other obligations. Because the fact of the matter is there's Industries of Titan and Phantom Brigade, which are getting really regular updates. So I don't think people would feel really happy to see incremental progress on Disco Elysium once a week. You know, I'd be playing that game for like 6 years at that rate. But you know, I'm totally aware of it. And the other thing is that like I know people want to see stuff like Disco Elysium. So even if it's not Disco Elysium, games like it that come across my my email box, those are things that I'll be looking for, just because there's clearly an appetite for them. But yeah, no, it's it's one of these things. Like some of this stuff is going to happen. It is something that will happen in the future. I did, however, because of sort of a set of circumstances that have really only developed over the past month, although certainly I've been dissatisfied with my job for longer than that. I did make a conscious decision to sort of roll that back because, again, I just want to make sure that I'm in a position where liquidate access. You push the button and feel a rumbling beneath your feet. A hole opens where the machine used to be. Mysterious. But yeah, no, again, this stuff will still happen, but it's just a question in terms of when. So sorry to take it to that place, but those are the stakes. It seems you're worthy to shop at the heart of Verona. What can I gift wrap for you? Well, none of it. I mean, I suppose I could buy some, like, Dark Essence for a reasonably good... actually, that may not be a bad idea. As you wish. Stay safe out there. Get out of my face already. Can't you see I'm shopping here? I like your hat. Oh wait, we already finished the level? Ah! I only realized the attack after the fact. Into the loot sack. Did the monsters put this here? Occultist robes. Is this the way back up, I guess? Nuts. I keep forgetting there's a right hand heavy, or right mouse button heavy. I'll remember that for next time. Did it. Now that's the kind of excitement worth getting out of bed for. Shiny! Found a night helm. Wouldn't mind taking a breather. Flopping into a seat feels good. You realize that you're more tired than you had thought. Fighting takes a lot out of you, doesn't it? Would you like to offer a gift? We sort of said no on the date because I wasn't sure what she'd want. You decide not to give a gift right now. Maybe we've been pushing ourselves too hard lately. Valeria stifles a yawn. It's not too late to learn from our mistakes. It's safe. How about a quick cat nap? I'm bad at naps. I am too, but I thought maybe we could just rest our eyes. She leans against your shoulder companionably. You close your eyes for a few minutes. When you open your eyes, Valeria is already up and her edges are gleaming. That was perfect. I'm all charged up. Let's go. You know what? We don't need to try and get it. So I suspect if I go to that upward staircase, if I pick that upward staircase, it's probably just going to ask me if I want to exit the dungeon. So we'll. If she leans on your shoulder, you take damage. If you like a break. Now what do we have here? Would you like to offer a gift? No!
Huh?
Wow, this bar has all the whiskeys. Girl could get used to this. She slides behind the bar and pours a double shot for herself and raises an eyebrow at you. I still have to fight monsters.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but never heard of the drunken master technique? She sips her drink. Every muscle in her face relaxes in pleasure. Just kidding. Drunken masters were always hand to hand. No sharp edges. I'm just too dangerous for stumbling around. Wouldn't want to hurt you after all. She becomes suddenly serious. Unless I have to, that is. You know, to protect my secrets. She winks and saunters away from the bar, leaving her empty glass. So it is actually kind of interesting that the companions in this game definitely have, like, these are not unambiguously good people. So like, that's actually kind of threatening, right? And then, of course, Sunder, you know, we've obviously seen him attack someone. Sorry, just gotta try and get a little more... try and get a little more control over the situation. So I am curious whether or not some of these people do actually turn out to be more antagonistic, or maybe this is just kind of how it's turned out for us in particular. I know for a lot of the people we haven't really pursued romantic options, so it could be that there's like a question of resentment. You found a machine zine recipe. Let's find a fine bourbon recipe. Although I will confess, I know for those of you who didn't see this before, I actually found Sawyer a curiously charming character. I was very attached to them. Ah! Oh man, I'm bad. There you go. Like that, monsters. Into the loot sack. I'm curious what that is up there. I thought that was where I came in, but it looks different. Oops. Oh yeah, I should probably explain for the uninitiated. The other thing about this game is that the dungeon. So the premise for the game is you're visiting Verona Beach, and your cousin sort of sets you up on a blind date. Basically, the job is to get you out of your shell and dating and like meeting people. So we're past the point of like our cousin setting up dates for us. But the dungeon, so like apparently going into the dungeon is something of a pastime. And the dungeon is seemingly limitless in sort of its depths. It's essentially a place where you confront your insecurities. And we've gone through the mall, so the mall was our fear of change. The final boss on that was actually a butterfly, which I was too thick to kind of pick up on at the moment, but I was like, oh wait, actually, yeah, it's a butterfly. I get it now. It's really clever. This one this is the first time we've gone into La Rosa, so the enemies that we're up against, so far it's been La Rosa themed, right? We're up against alcohol, we're up against hands, we're up against laser machines, and we're trying to find out. First thing we'll do is find out exactly what this sphere is supposed to be, assuming we don't succumb to the forces. Clearly the fear is of sharp things. Oh, is this impossible to get to? God, procedural generation. Run! No, yeah, that definitely shouldn't be blocked. Just because it's really, like, you can see from the map, right? There's no other way into that room, so you should normally be able to access the safes. Ah. I was wrong. Turns out you can destroy the shelves. Finally, a monster-free zone. Oh, this brings back memories. I dated a pool cue once, but it didn't work out. She was a little too on the straight and narrow for me. She taught me a lot about playing pool, though. My favorite variant is one pocket. Want to try? You hit balls around, targeting a specific pocket.
Huh.
Valeria knows what she's doing, but takes it easy on you. Sometimes it looks like she wants to say something. Advice to share?
Mm-hmm.
I told myself I wouldn't overstep, but I can't help it. Here, follow my example. Valeria adjusts your stance and repositions your fingers on the cue, her hand soft on yours. She lets you go with a smile. You play a bit more, and your aim seems to have improved. That's better. I hope you can wield me with the same precision as that cue. Run! I should also mention the default health tonic is bubble tea, but I did correct it to the correct one, which is coffee. And a travel guide recipe. So if you go to options, you get to pick. Okay, so we've maxed with Valeria. Let's change it up. I think we'll work with Sawyer for a bit. It's new weapon, and it's not going to get any easier. So, whoa! It's a decent feeling weapon. A little break is just what I need. Oh, fancy! I've never been to a very important person past been a very, very important person past a velvet rope. And this guy's like, sorry, Sawyer's just like, I was when I started in camera and we, like, for rap parties would go to much posher places than I could ever manage. I don't know if this counts, really. There's a rope, but is it really a VIP section if there isn't a bouncer? There are monsters.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, but the monsters didn't exactly let us in or check the list of names. Oh well. They settle into a cushion, relaxing as best as they can. By the way, I'm sorry saying that guy. It's a tough habit to break. I'm not quite sure what the appropriate phrasing is. So now what? What do you do in a VIP section? You just sit here, being very important? Would you like to offer a gift? Oh god, like grocery coupons? Tuition forgiveness? A gourmet cupcake might be appropriate. Actually, pizza might also work as well. Let's give him pizza. Oh, cool! Pepperoni pizza! I like it a lot. Thanks, Alfred. This place is kind of boring. Let's go back to fighting. What do you say? Oh, Jesus, I walked right into that. You heard the blessed food pizza. You did. I gave a pizza as a gift on a date. Ah! Oh, that's neat. I can lock those musical notes in place with the glaive. Press this advantage. Give them no quarter. So definitely the glaive is more of a skilled weapon than I can like handle, but it's cool. Like I can definitely see myself getting into this. Time for victory music. Ah, should we do a dance? We found a Dark Prince recipe. Okay, we've already maxed with Sawyer, so fair enough. Let's try Sunder. Really bad at getting hit by those explosions. I wouldn't mind a break. Ooh, fancy. So this is where all our high shelf liquors went. Weird not to have a dance floor, though. It seems like we'd encourage way too much talking. I mean, I love talking with you, of course, but most people aren't worth the time. You know, ask the right questions. Maybe I don't, but it's not like my job. It's not really my job to make other people interesting. The way I figure it, it's just easier to stick with people who you already... Sorry. The way I figure it, it's easier just to stick to people who are already interesting. Like you. Would you like to offer a gift? Yes, I'd like to offer him the pizza so, you know, I feel a little bit better about my own abs. Again, I'm still trying to think about what the best fit here would be. I love the description of the single malt scotch, by the way. Tastes like the inside of a specific barrel in Scotland. You decide not to give a gift for that. So let's get back to it. Oh, I didn't realize that these heal you. Okay, I'm going to be a little more careful in picking the timing on those. I always thought they were just chances to get some extra points with the weapon. So I keep forgetting the ideal combo for these is to... Oh, okay, I'm definitely going to break the shells more often. That's ours now. So the combo I find that works best with this weapon is if you do the heavy attack first and then you come in with the slashes. So something like that, just to get in closer and then take advantage of all the bleed. Run! There we go. Ah. Doing well for money. So I don't know about you, but a fear of large disembodied, like, hands and lips is, I think, a perfectly justifiable fear that I don't really want to outgrow. You found a futurist recipe. So I'll show you what all these things are, I'll show you what all those things are about when we get out of the dungeon. It's the kind of fear that really eats away at you. But on the other hand, really, I would have a reflex of collecting those flying hearts. Yeah, no, I don't exactly like run towards them, but they're definitely colored in a way that, like, they look a lot friendlier than they actually are. I still have a little coffee in front of me. Oof, that was a really tough entrance. One of the combat moves that I haven't really been taking advantage of are the zines. So if you you notice up here, there's these little dragon periodicals. So if I hit the Q button, I'll fire a fireball. I tend to not use it very often, and so I'm out of practice with them, and it's a little harder to just kind of consciously say, okay, now is the time for a fireball. Who would waste this wide, gorgeous room on pool tables instead of a dance floor? Variety's good. Is it? I'd rather just spend all my time with you. No need for variety here. Besides, I'm not sure that applies here. A dance floor supports a huge variety of dances. Normally, we play club music, but people could do breakdance, ballet, roller dance, whatever. Instead, there's just these boring tables and balls. Oh well. No accounting for taste, huh? Let's find somewhere more exciting to be. You decide not to give a gift right now. Oh, these things are the devil! Well, Rosa Deeps. Oh, this is probably going to be a boss fight. Maybe not. Time for a little break. I actually wouldn't hurt because I'm down health. Got a Royal Crown recipe. I'm pretty sure we never built an outdoor section. It's nice though. It'd be good to escape the crowds now and then at least. You decide not to offer a gift right now. It gets pretty hot on the dance floor. Not that I mind getting sweaty. Sweating's healthy. That's how you know you're getting good exercise. How do you prefer your workouts? Regularly. It's part of what I like about you. You're so responsible and mature. But you know what else I like about you? Being your weapon. Let's get back in there and get sweaty. Found it, so we keep it. Spooky Zine. Okay, so there's going to be a few more upgrades that I can craft. It takes me a little practice to get to be able to dodge those beams. We're not doing terribly though. Like we're down a coffee, but not irrecoverably so. We're gonna get one back from that med kit. I'm just trying to be a little more responsible. Yeah. Just trying to deal with the speaker. Sadly, we don't have Sawyer here to show him what's what. Okay, I think I know how to handle this. Nice. I wonder how much experience that was worth. Man, lots of zines down here. I thought we were gonna die there for sure. Olaf, thank you very much for the host. How you doing? I forgot to turn my Steam status off invisible at the start of yesterday's broadcast. Did you get a chance to catch any of it? I know you wanted, like, I don't mind if you didn't, and I have a recording, but I know you wanted to catch it, so I felt a bit guilty realizing, oh, that's great. Okay, yeah, I knew you'd, we talked, and then I only realized partway through, it's like, wait, I think I'm still invisible. So I'm super happy that you got a chance to catch it. Again, like if you weren't there, I was not gonna worry about that myself. But I obviously didn't want to be a jerk. You have to attempt to do sleep things, have fun with the dungeons and the boyfriends. Peace, everyone. Thank you so much for hanging out, D-Pain. I know I have no idea if this is your kind of game or not. I hope you give a chance to. I hope you get a chance to give this a try. But thank you very much for bringing your people along. I hope you have a wonderful night, and I will see you hopefully in your place next. Thank you very much, Olaf. Yeah, That's totally on me. You both flop into the seats, relaxing. Would you like to offer a gift? You decide not to give a gift right now. I'm rather fond of the VIP section in La Rosa, where I really started getting to know you. This one doesn't seem to have bottle service. It smells like monsters. But at least we got into this VIP room by our own skills, not by buying our way in. Maybe I should host contests at La Rosa to determine who gets to be a VIP. Dance contests? Yeah, maybe. Though I'd have to make sure I don't win, even if it is fair. Fair enough, Deepe. What you could do, you'll play this as research for your D&D campaign. And then your D&D game will be fantastic. I'll think about it while we fight the next round. Whoa! Leave me alone! Ugh. Oh, Jesus, I can't even aim these. Alright. Show them what we're made of. Thank heavens. Got leather gloves. Oh no! Alright, this is gonna get interesting. Okay, we didn't do it without taking a scratch, but we did get through. If we have a boss fight, we're done for, but... Okay, so if we can level up 7, so much the better. Okay, ooh, that's basically a game over right there. Let's see if we can... Oh my god. Oh, wait. Haha! I can hit you through walls! I gotta find health before I try any of this stuff. Okay, this is a start. Okay, so there's a relaxation area down there. Let's try and shoot for that. Oh boy! Nuts. I think the monsters have been training. Let's see how far we got with 7. I'm now officially qualified. All right. And apparently I found a secret. Oh, probably the store. You sleep heavily, and when it's morning, your eyelids feel sticky, like they don't want to open. You remember today's your birthday, another year closer to death at least. I'm learning new things. You think about how much you've learned and grown lately, and you can't help smiling as you get up. You find a package outside your door waiting for you. It's from your mom and cool to the touch. Inside it's a birthday cake. She must have schemed to make sure that it arrived refrigerated. A note says, "To my only son on his special day." You're about to cut a slice when there's a knocking at the door. Answer it. You longingly set the cake aside and go answer the door.
Hi, cuz. Happy birthday. I brought a friend. I hope that's okay.
Happy birthday. I heard there might be cake.
Your mom said she sent over a cake and we brought some little presents. Nothing special.
Huh.
Yeah, don't get too excited. I didn't have much mornings and I don't like shopping, so, well, you'll see. It's tradition for the birthday boy to use a weapon friend to cut the cake. You up for it, Valeria?
Yeah.
Sure, of course. I'm a bit short, but Alfred wants me to, so I'm in. What do you think? I mean, we don't have to follow tradition. Let's do this. This is great. Greatest challenge we faced together. Geometry. Valeria feels warm and confident in your hands. You carefully slice the cake into even pieces together. That special birthday cake flavor. So vanilla. So sugar.
Huh.
Yeah, a bit too sweet. It kind of makes me crave a bit of whiskey, even this early in the day. Now's a good time to give Alfred my little gift. Here. Valeria hands you a small canvas. It's a colorful painting of Verona Beach. I'm debating on grabbing the whiskey just to spite Valeria. You found a birthday gift. Feels good. I made it really quickly, so it's okay if you don't like it. Honestly, I love it. Oh, I'm glad. I wasn't sure. If you decide you don't feel it, feel free to give it back. I could sell it or paint over it.
Nah.
Don't you dare paint over it, Alfred. If you don't like it, I'll take it. If you insist. I have plenty of work left over.
Ah.
Anyway, here. I got you a little something too. A phoenix cap. Jesse gives you an envelope. You open it to find assembly instructions for a phoenix cap. It's a kit. The hat looked like a... sorry. It's a kit. The hat looked a little dorky anime, but it sounded useful for the dunge. Can't wait to make it. Good. I almost went with socks, or whetstone.
Huh?
A whetstone? Jeez, warn a lady first. Those are personal. Does Alfred even know any weapons well enough to... Well, never mind. Oh, okay. I get the message. Remember, I didn't get one. Crisis averted. Anyway, Alfred, you're another year older and wiser. Congratulations. I'm glad you shared this birthday with us here in Verona Beach.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely. Finally, there's someone around I can share secrets with.
Ah.
What kind of secrets? None of your business, that's what kind.
Ciao.
Valeria gives you a kiss on the cheek on the way out. You close the door behind them and consider how to spend your day. Cleaning up my room after all of the gifts. On your way home, you find a few ingots of steel on your doorstep. They're heavy and cold, but wrapped with a ribbon. An attached note reads, "For Alfred." You carry it inside. I was wondering if it was Eric who gave us these. So. Lots of messages for us, I'm assuming. Let's start by crafting. Oh, something's happened to the... Something's happened to the write-ups. Maybe we'll wait for the messages to stop by. We'll read all of these. I tend not to read them as they come in on the top. I figure I'll... I, of course, am not important enough to have my phone explode like this in the real world, so I figured I'd leave it 3. I did see Eric, so I'm almost certain I'm almost certain that that's the source of the ingots. Okay, let's see. Ah! Okay. Damn it, Sawyer! Anyways, I'm going to guess it's not those messages that was causing it. So I wonder if there's a way that I can just force some kind of a reset. Probably if I... Oh, okay. Well, whatever that was, I just made it. Chocolate truffles. All right, let's just build it. A potted succulent. I got one of those. I'm not giving that as a gift. I'm keeping it. Night helmet. Travel guide. Pretty ribbon. So yeah, I was talking about this before. So basically you have crafting materials that you pick up in the dungeon, and you will be able to build either practical materials, or I think that might be from Lucifer Within Us, or just stuff that makes you look cool. A fine bourbon. Phoenix cap. Bug princess zine. Storm zine. Sneakers. A machine zine. We don't have the fabric for... Okay, so it's fabric and steel. So let's say 5 fabric. 5 fabric, 3 glue, and let's just say 17 steel, although I don't actually need that much. Welcome. All right, we gotta go to Naked Steel for the... Well, steel. Oh, Alfred, find time in your busy love life to stop by. So the steel is 20 or 3 plastic, and I believe we get more... It's either the 2 marbles or the 3 plastic. That's a better deal. I think we need like 17, so let's just say 12. Okay, well, we get 3 plastic, so basically, this is how I get steel cheaper, is trading it with the plastic, so... I'm curious if the royal crown is a reference to fit for a king. Oh, did I get the glue wrong? All right. Let's see. But, okay, so most of these have wonderful descriptions. So ready for the future. I've started saving for retirement. I know some of these give you bonuses. The best jacket, don't at me. Only legal between spring and autumn. Yeah, beverage heals more. Enemies get stunned when they damage you. Hides the map. This is like hard mode. Oh, sorry. There's lots of that. See, I actually quite like the bucket hat, but exit shows in the mini map. Enemies bleed when they damage you. Doubles all damage. Exit shows in the mini map. Carry more beverages but fewer zines. Revives you once. Ooh, that might actually be pretty helpful. The definition of classy, like RC Cola. Is RC Cola a Canadian thing only? Enemies get stunned when they damage you. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to do the Phoenix Cap. Yeah, like I used to have a bucket, like I had a bucket cap and bucket hat and a beard when I was like for a summer when I was on film, and like that was apparently like my thing. Like apparently that was a distinctive feature that like people who I did not know but like coworkers I worked with, it's like, oh yeah, you're the guy with the hat. And I'm like, I did not realize this is such a distinctive hat. It was quite literally the cheapest hat I could find for a particularly hot summer. And then I shaved the beard and I stopped working in film. So I haven't really worn hats since, but obviously if I was going for fashion, I'd wear the ever fan. So if I had my choice, I would be, probably, this would be most appropriate, but you all suck! Oh no! This is the normally the point where I turn on the Fury Road soundtrack. Actually, you know who might like this? Valiant Cheese. He definitely does a lot. I mean, he does more bee-themed stuff, but I think he might get a kick out of this. At least I'm still banging into the walls, but I'm like not like plowing into them and stopping, so. Third place isn't exactly something to be proud of, but I'll take it for now. All right, I've been dreading my phone. Let's see the disaster that's waiting for us here. I was looking up what to cook, and this might get a little complicated. The new hotness, grilled cheese. What do you think? Is it too hard? Can we do it? It'll be fine. If you say so, on my way. A few minutes later, Sawyer arrives with groceries.
Hi!
I wasn't sure which recipe to follow, so I got a few different things. Sorting through the bags, you find 5 different cheeses and various fruits. You can see fear in Sawyer's eyes as they look at the expensive ingredients. Let's make it simple.
Uh-huh.
All right, simple I can do. Probably. Maybe? Actually, I'm not going to get ahead of myself. We'll see what happens. You show them how to grate cheese and melt butter in a pan. That wasn't so hard. The next step says we need some kind of weird TBSP cheese. What's Tubshpa? 2 terrific butter specimens? Oh, that's not right. It's a measurement.
Whoa!
Oh, big spoon seems easy to remember though, like in snuggling. Sorry if I ask dumb questions. I feel like I could be honest with you and ask you anything. You seem so nice, but are you secretly judging me? No. Good. I get judged enough in class. I'm sick of worrying about points. Oh, wait, I know I can help. There we go. Now, can I cut the bread and the cheese? Don't get cheese. Sure, thanks. You awkwardly cut the bread with Sawyer's blade. They're a bit long to do so comfortably. That was less awesome than I'd hope. I guess I'm better for killing monsters. Maybe if there were a monster made of bread, then I'd be set. You assemble the cheese on the bread and put it in the frying pan. So, random question. Did you go to college? Yep, I'm going back in September. Oh, so just taking a break from the grind, huh? I guess most people are on summer break, but I'm trying to cram in more classes. Man, okay. Yes, I completely did this. Sure, I don't believe I ever took a summer off in university. I took more courses. Then maybe I can graduate early. No, so you cannot graduate early. You'll just go to grad school. Sorry if my question was random. I didn't mean to pry or anything. I wanted to ask because you seem like you have it all figured out. I guess you'll be even more impressive and mature once you get a degree. Wait, do you smell that? Is our baby burning? It looks like the heat was on high, even though the recipe said medium heat. You have created burnt mess.
Aww.
Oh man, I can't even make the simplest grilled cheese? Really? I feel so stupid. I hate this. Maybe this is all pointless. Let's try again. Oh, do we have to? Your encouragement seems to calm them down. They look at you and take a deep breath. Okay, I can do this. Medium heat. You carefully reassemble the sandwich and put it in the frying pan on medium heat. You carefully flip the sandwich. The scent of melting cheddar fills the air. You have created a delicious grilled cheese. Alright, so we've got flailing. When Glaive returns from being thrown, do damage to all enemies nearby. That's pretty tempting, especially for if I get surrounded like I have been. Or hurried. Glaive throws and returns faster. Oh no, I'm totally doing hurried.
Wow!
Cooking is a real transformation. Way more magical than people turning into swords. They wolf down their sandwich a bit too quickly, burning their mouth. Oh, ow, ow, phew. That was amazing. Plus, the ingredients for this were like $3. If I cook instead of going to restaurants, I might be able to afford a textbook someday. Would you like to offer a gift? Well, you did give them the pizza. Not 100% sure what to give here, so you decide not to give a gift right now. Sawyer's phone beeps, they glance at it, and their jaw drops.
Ah!
Fridge, there's been a Roses of Venus sighting in Verona Beach. I gotta go. Where? It's on the side of the mall, like Down with capitalism, up with love, right? Yeah, I guess I shouldn't let my business prof hear me say that. Anyway, I gotta go see the mural for myself. Later, chef. Sawyer bundles up the leftover cheeses and hurries out. Oh, that grilled cheese put me into a sleep coma. They should sell it as a sedative. Tastiest sedative in the West. You okay? Definitely. Just have to not eat one before a test. Oh, but I forgot to tell you. I was so pumped from yesterday that I made breakfast. All by myself. The egg wasn't blackened at all. I cut the bread myself too. I feel so powerful. Achievement unlocked. All right. Invitation to the mailer. Also remember, live by the sword, die by side. Which I guess is a saying about marriage. Anyway, have a good day, sweetie. Is that really it? I wonder why I can't move up. I guess, anyway, have a good day, sweetie. I feel like Mom would have said something on the birthday. Anyway. Pocket. My cat was missing for a while and just reappeared with his phone number, with this phone number in his mouth. So I guess you found him? Thanks, if so. I was really worried. No problem. Text me and I'll let him out. He likes to roam. Let him out. That's true. You know, just stencil "you're adopted" over the cake and delete your number. It looks like he's headed to the park. Little killer. All right. Just going to breathe in, go to my happy place, and then deal with Eric. The thing that bugs me the most about Eric is I genuinely tried to make the, like, what he's doing is not okay case, but just take a look at his behavior. So, like, for those of you who missed one of the early ones, this is why I kind of feel a little bad about some of the coverage that I've been doing about Boyfriend Dungeon, because I really haven't had a chance to, well, I maybe had the chance, but I've missed the opportunity, let's say. For some of the characters to, like, maybe go into their motivations a little bit, and to, like, in the case of Eric, I sort of tried to point out that while their behavior was really appalling, that if you take a look at some of their dialogue, I mean, again, this is just, I think, a testament to the writing of the game, but if you take a look at some of their dialogue, like, they were really trying to sort of puff themselves up as, like, a successful business person, and, you know, in some cases they were, like, running down other people, and you can see why, right? Like, they're trying to make a good impression, they're trying to impress you, and, you know, again, there's definitely the like, again, there's kind of the famous example of the, you know, the bumbler where the error always seems to go one way, which is definitely not cool. But what I'm more trying to say here is just, you know, they are someone who actually quite likes you and is really struggling with being there themselves and sort of acknowledging who they are. And what this is doing is creating something that's harmful for them, and of course making them quite a bit more unlikable. So, like, what I was, again, just trying to, not necessarily trying to redeem Eric, but also try and point out where that's coming from, and sort of try to make a mapping to maybe some things that people would find a little bit more relatable. Because obviously people had really, really strong reactions to Eric. And I think one of the things that just makes me always so frustrated with Eric is every time that I tried to add that dimension to just sort of point out, as, like, you know, it's not a mustache twisting villain. Like, what is on display here are things that lots of people do every single day in a much more minor form. So, like, just think about the way that you'll kind of present yourself on Twitter or on other forms of social media, you know, to try and make a good impression. You know, in the case of Eric, it just happens to have gone that one, you know, down that particular path, which has, you know, led to a really kind of a set of cascading failures, which is really, really going into unacceptable territory. But again, it's not to excuse it, but just sort of create some context and to try and you know, just I guess explain kind of the human nature that leads to that sort of behavior. And inevitably, as soon as I try and do that, he would just take another step, which just makes it even worse. And I'm like, man, I'm trying to make you a sympathetic character actor, and you're making it so hard. So I need to go to my happy place every time I open an Eric text to prepare for another, oh, why are you doing this to me moment. Heard it's a special day today. It's the exact middle of summer. Crazy, huh? Oh man, I think that's my birthday. I guess that means your trip is halfway over. I know you said not to send you things, so I didn't, but I guess it's also your birthday or something. So this isn't your steal? Nope, not me. Whatever you're talking about. Just kidding. I couldn't help myself. Enjoy. Don't eat too much cake. Hey, I have news I think you're going to want to hear. Come by my shop and we can make a trade. All right. Let's see what Isaac has to say. Sorry I've been quiet. Time with you has been healing. Can you come to my old office, Brooks Associates? My father has officially taken over, and I want to confront him once and for all. I'll be there. I can do this. I mean, we can do this. My agent gave me comp tickets to a concert. It'll probably be awful. Some newbie locals. Doesn't even have light sticks. Not that you'd need one, since I'll be there. Whatever. Want to go with me? So actually, yeah, maybe here's a good example of this. It's like, so we really ripped into Eric for like talking down to someone. I can't remember who it was. Maybe it was it was Jesse, I'm pretty sure. Our cousin was kind of making fun of him or calling him a loser or something like that. Now, you know, Seven, we're actually able to sort of pursue a relationship with, but, you know, again, like probably be awful. Some newbie locals, like I'm not entirely sure this is necessarily any better than what Eric was doing. Like, is it the fact that I'm not related to these newbie locals that means the put down is any better? I actually do find, like, there's some things I kind of like about Seven, but I actually do find him a bit hard to deal with. And I sort of understand wanting to keep arm's length because of the fame thing. But there's definitely a few kind of prima donna moments. I will actually maybe also share, I have had, so I'll say the good things. You know what, screw it. I'll even say the bad ones. So one of the people who I have a very, like, okay, so it's not like a deep cherished memory, but like in terms of like famous name and good action, I actually remember Christopher Lloyd. So, you know, Fester from the Addams Family movies, or Doc Brown from Back to the Future. He was on set, and there's a move called one-tonning a camera. So this is where instead of like a normal human being, you take the camera off the tripod, or not the tripod, or the head for moving. When you're using like professional cameras, you will have a special dedicated head for the tripod or the dolly or whatever. And that is a very heavy device itself. And sometimes there'll even be like a gear head. So like you probably have seen them. It's these ones that are used with wheels as opposed to something that's maybe a little bit more like a fluid head, where you'll sort of see like a big stick coming out of it. And there'll be different contexts in terms of where you'll want to use one or the other. But, you know, again, instead of being like a normal human being and taking the already heavy camera off and then like removing the head and going on, when it'll be like a short while, again, it's the camera department, your Top Gun, you want to show everyone what a tough guy you are. So you'll like take the whole thing and move it, because this is what guys do to impress absolutely no one. I am but a mortal. Anyways, so this is what I did. And then it is very clear that there is no tripod or dolly in sight, that something has happened. The destination is not there. And essentially, I just kind of have like my knee holding this camera up. I am carrying, like holding onto this really, really heavy thing. And I don't dare move lest this incredibly expensive, like I must have been holding like $500,000 of equipment in my hands, like lens and all. So, I'm kind of trying to figure out what to do with myself. And, there's a few in my department around, but like I'm the one holding it. And like, everybody's just kind of making sure that I don't like drop the thing, but otherwise, they're just carrying on with their business. And Christopher Lloyd actually, after a little while, came to me and like offered his chair, because he would have been in his trailer otherwise. But I think basically I think everybody thought the shot was happening a lot sooner than it was. So, I don't know if he was going to go back to his trailer or whatever. But I thanked him and said it's not necessary. One, because I didn't want to give up. I didn't want him to have to give up his chair for me. I'm, young, and he's, one, the talent, and two, probably has more need of the chair than I do. Not that he's particularly frail, but again, it's nice to give it. Same reason I would, stand up for someone else on the bus. But that was memorable, right? Because he probably would, under other circumstances, be reading his line or otherwise not involving himself with that. And certainly he's somebody who is one of the few times that I'd actually seen people on a film set break the protocol and actually bring stuff for someone to sign. And he signed all of it, right? Like people's Back to the Future DVDs, stuff like that. Didn't have a problem. I did not have Back to the Future DVD, nor do I really think it's appropriate to bug people like that. But in any case, that definitely somebody I'm like, actually, there was also a moment where I got to see that he is a much better actor than what he is usually portrayed as in the shows that he does. He had a couple of takes which were really I was like, oh man, I wonder where that came from. And the director totally told him to do it again and just ham it up, because apparently that's what you pay for when you get Christopher Lloyd. So I kind of felt bad about it, because I'm sure most of you do not associate Christopher Lloyd with top tier acting, but he's, from the little fragments I saw, he's actually quite capable of it. The person who, I'll be honest, kind of actually behaved the way that I expected he would, Steven Seagal. He was totally the kind of guy who would expect you to make way for him even if you were carrying heavy gear. And he had it wasn't exactly a cape, but he had this thing that it looked like a cape that he had on for himself. And he's the sort of person who might storm off of set if everything wasn't totally ready for him or whatever. And from what I understand, I want to be very careful when I say this, because these are the kinds of stories which I think are for the people to tell. And please don't put a lot of weight behind this because I'm the one to say it. It's really up to the people, who are told me that. But apparently it was definitely more than a little free with some of the the PAs or whatever. It's I'm famous, do you want to come to my trailer or whatever sort of things, which honestly screw that guy. So again, didn't see it firsthand, so take that as what it's third party stuff. But having seen his behavior, I'm also kind of yeah, of course I believe it. More importantly, the person who was telling me was, didn't really have any reason to make that up. So, why the hell did I get on this story again? Oh yeah, it was the Fame stuff. The other thing that I've learned is that, so the blow-ups that you'll hear, because I'm trying to like parse out Seven's behavior. One of the other things that I kind of noticed was that the idea of the really, like, so the Steven Seagal stuff I actually thought was more the exception. And I kind of have a feeling that most actors are sort of like they're conscious enough of the fact that they're in an environment where like their job is to have their behavior be recorded, right? And even if it's not the, like, so like the one person who can really screw you is the audio people, right? Because the audio people, their tape is super cheap, you know, and almost always someone's wired up. So, you know, you just hit record on that thing. And if you're saying something really bad, like, it is not expensive at all. And most of the time it's digital. But yeah, like it's totally like that'll get out. Harder for camera. If it's like high definition video, you know, just run the spaghetti through the machine. But if it's like really big names in that, it might still be shot 35 millimeter, or it'll be shot on like a digital, kind of a digital camera where it's a more elaborate setup and it's very clear that it's being recorded. And again, like everybody kind of knows the stories, right? So it's not to say that it doesn't happen, but the blow-ups and like the recordings of them are relatively rare. And I think what you'll really find out about an actor is actually in the makeup trailer, because like this is usually at the crack of dawn or earlier. It's behind closed doors, and I mean, again, makeup is not exactly a very powerful department on set. So these are the kinds of people. It's like, you know, you know what it's like? It's basically like seeing someone be mean to like McDonald's employees or something like that. I mentioned this because like I was getting a coffee at a McDonald's the other day, and there was a guy, instead of using the kiosk, he like waited by the cash register. I was waiting by the cash register because I had a free coupon for coffee. Yes, I am too cheap to spend the $2 for a McDonald's coffee. Sue me. And he didn't do any effort to like try and catch the attention of employees. And let me be clear, like it does kind of suck that these employees didn't bother to acknowledge, you know, either of us. But instead, like when the employer comes by, he decides not just to like give them crap over having to wait, but like goes on about it. And this poor employee is like actually trying to take his order, and he's still going on about being made to wait like 5 minutes or whatever to like do an order, to a point that like I was so close to just saying is like, all right, so do I get to like rip into you for wasting my time now? Just like do the friggin' order, dude. You know, and again, I think the employee eventually said, like, you know, it's like, you know, in future, if you'd like, you can use the kiosk. Like, I don't do the kiosk. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, again, I'm just thinking to myself is like, why? Because you can't yell at it. Like, again, I really try not to let my desire to like say something mildly clever in the moment, like cause actual problems. It is an impulse I sometimes need to suppress. But you know, that kind of tells you a lot about someone, right? You know, people who are jerks to customer service employees, you know, usually are not nice people in other areas. And I think it's kind of the same in terms of makeup trailers. Like if you want to know whether or not an actor is really a jerk, like find out how they behave in the makeup trailer. But I also think makeup tends to be pretty professional, and they don't actually talk about who yelled at them in the morning. But anyways, so Seven's not like the worst, but I don't know. I don't really like the way that he runs some people down, or like how he's kind of too cool for a lot of stuff. Anyways, we're still going on a date with him. Also, I had no idea that Christopher Lloyd was a Klingon. Now I'm going to have to see that episode. I'll have to see that show, actually, because I have no idea which show it was. I'm going to assume Star Trek something, but... Okay, it's at La Rosa. Meet you there. Everything is too much work, you know. The dunge, avoiding vamp hunters, the club. Gotta relax. So, want to chill in the park with me? Sure. Cool. See you there. Hey, can I ask you something? Want to join when I paint my new mural? You can be my muse. Is it illegal? Well, it shouldn't be. What do you say? Sounds good. Really? Wow, nice. Midnight, the museum. Wear dark clothes. Seriously, though. Black. Oh, I wanted to see if there were other things to build. I think we already did that, but... Yes. I don't even remember what the order was. I'm pretty sure the cat was going to the park as well. Wait, really? There was a date with Eric? Okay, because I made the contrast between Eric and Seven, let's, yeah, I just didn't think it was a date. You find Eric reading a book behind the counter. He brightens as you approach, carefully closing the book.
It's so good to see you. Really, you look great. Fit. The dungeon must be giving you a good workout.
Thanks. Just the truth, my good sir, but your gratitude is appreciated. Well, I thought you might want to know that I discovered... I thought you might want to know what I discovered about the dungeons in my research. Did you know they manifest your fears? The monsters actually come from inside you. Yes? Oh, well, you don't have to be all huffy about it. I was thinking, since the dungeons are all about your fears, then couldn't we just, like, ignore them and they'd go away? Seems like it'd be safer, too. But even if you want to fight monsters, the fact that it's your fears suggests you have control. I think we could even speedrun dungeons if we wanted. Skip straight to the bottom, fight the boss monster immediately. I figured out how. But... Eric pauses and looks you in the eye with a mischievous grin. I said this would be a trade. How about... I'll tell you about my speedrun strat for the low, low price of one kiss. On the cheek. Seriously? Oh, fine. What about a smile? Just one nice, handsome smile. Smile. Beautiful. See? That wasn't so hard, was it? You should share that smile more often. Every time, Eric! I try to be nice, and you turn out to be a jackass! Well, with your end of the deal fulfilled, here's what I know. If you just decided not to be afraid, I think the boss would manifest itself immediately. You could just skip straight to the end. Bam, no problem. That's not how it works. You try to explain that fears and anxieties are more complex than just deciding not to and need time. Ugh, I knew you'd try to make excuses. Everyone always does. Why can't people just decide to feel better about themselves? It's what I do. Yes. One thing you are not lacking, Eric, is confidence. At the very least, I'd advise not inventing any new fears. Might make more dungeons appear. Eric winks at you, pleased with himself. A shape slips silently into view, graceful as water. Enemy? The stranger stares at you with an intensity bordering on excitement. Eric's eyes widen and he quickly shakes his head.
No.
Not an enemy. Return to your sheath. The stranger slips away with a rustle of silk. That's my friend. Don't worry about him. He's under my control. Who is he? I've been very generous with my information, but even I need privacy. I'm paid for my knowledge as a professor, after all. Don't take me for granted. Good day. Eric pointedly reopens his book and ignores you until you leave. Oh, you know what? I didn't check the zines. Okay, so Bug Princess summons one bug ally. Chemistry 20 throws a mine trap, throws a fireball. Fashion generates a decoy. Spooky scares most enemies. Machine creates an allied turret. Sleepy Time puts most monsters to sleep, and Storms calls down a thunderstrike. Sorry, I should be reading the text for these. Bug Princess Zine. Once upon a time, a girl loved bugs. Chemistry Zine. 20 experiments you can do at home. Dragons Galore Zine. Some spicy dragon reading. Fashion Zine. Learn how to be fashionable on a budget. Spooky Zine. Chilling tales for all ages. Machine Zine. A DIY erector set with lasers. Sleepy Time Zine. A warm cup of tea in the form of a zine. And Storm Zine invokes Zeus, Thor, Set, and is it Pariana all at once? Okay, so one of the reasons why I wanted to start with Eric was so I can do the comparison with 7.
Hey.
Hey, ready to laugh at some small town garbage together? Hey, everyone starts somewhere. Oh, wow. You're that naive, huh? It's cute. In today's music world, most superstars are manufactured. They discovered indie myth is a myth. See, I suppose in that sense, he's actually telling, he is being honest, but sorry to burst your bubble. It'd be nice if it were true. You both here for Marsky and McQueen?
7.
7 of what? I only see 2 of you. No, my name, it's 7. On the list. With Blade Generation? Oh. Yes, sir. The bouncer waves you inside. You bump into someone at the entryway and lose sight of 7. Imagine meeting you here. If I wanted to contrast with Eric... Out on another date? Come on, Alfred. This doesn't impress me. I liked you your first date. I liked your inexperience and purity.
Ugh.
Nobody likes well-used weapons or people. You should be more discerning. Excuse me? My mate must be a man in good health, with good taste. I would rather not commit to someone who's flighty or poxed, obviously. Hey, I know this creep. You don't take no for an answer, do you? You turned him down too? I get approached by a lot of fans, so I wouldn't normally remember. Except this guy took it so personally, he basically threw a fit. Pathetic. I'm so sorry if I'm a romantic who believes in courtship. It's not courtship if Alfred isn't interested. Back off.
Ugh.
You think you're so great? I was friends with Alfred before you, so enjoy sloppy seconds.
Nuh-uh.
I said back. Off. Or else. You do violence, little swordman, against a Knight Templar? I might. This is your final warning. The crowd parts around you, holding their breath to see what happens next. I'm gonna need you both to step outside. Eric flees, pushing concert-goers out of his way in a rush. No problem here, sir. Do that again, I'm blacklisting you. I don't care how famous you are. 7 takes a deep breath and exhales slowly. So this is one of the things I really like about the game. I mean, this is one of the other things I struggle with too, right? Is that I try to give sort of my thoughts on what I'm playing. I try to be measured. So like obviously what I say about 7 or Eric isn't necessarily criticism, but in the end I always kind of need to acknowledge there's probably a lot of stuff that I'm not picking up on. But I do tend to notice, and particularly with Boyfriend Dungeon, I will say something and like moments later that's already inside the game. So I apparently didn't need to force a contrast between 7 and Eric. That contrast was just waiting for me to actually play the damn game. But yeah, obviously, I don't think there's a lot of elaboration that's required on that. Like Eric just continues to show what a jackass he is, and again, I'm still not exactly crazy about 7's attitude on a few things, but he's definitely shown himself to be a bit more upright. So, thanks for the help. 7 shrugs and doesn't respond, looking away. The crowd cheers as two figures take the stage. It's Marsky and McQueen. They don't introduce themselves. They just start in, head down into the music. You and Seven bob to the rhythm. The crowd around you starts to dance. The duo plays a long set deep into the night. Afterwards, as the crowd filters out, Seven squeezes your hand. That was actually cool. I forgot that I used to like going to concerts. Forked. Chain lightning can strike 2 extra enemies for a total of 3. I'm always happy with that. God, I really like the soundtrack. So refreshing to see people who care about the music and not their ego. Thanks for coming. It felt good to yell at that creep too. I've been the baby of the group for so long, it felt good to be scary. I'm so sick of using Igao. You don't even know. Is that how you pronounce it? Though, I was kind of venting too. It's not all Eric's fault. I got some bad news tonight. You want to talk about it? Yeah, I guess I do. Thanks for asking. Sung Woo, the frontman of Blade Generation, he's changing his name. His name's gonna be Lucky. Can you believe that? It's so stupid. It's an English word, even though that's my thing. It was the only thing that made me special in the group. Now I'm nothing. It's like I don't even matter. To him, to our agent, to anyone. You're still the only Prime. Have you talked to him?
Nuh-uh.
No, I can't just call him. I can't. It's not how we do things. I wish I could just... I don't know. I trusted Sungwoo, so his betrayal hurts. But it's a bit more than that. I feel like my whole career is a joke to them, destroyed at a moment's notice. I spent all this time faking it till I made it. I was just a nobody after all. His eyes glitter, wet with unshed tears. Wait. Oh, I had some extra apples, so I thought you might want some. He presses a small bag of peeled, chopped apples into your hands.
Later.
I gotta go. It'd be good to dunge later, just take the edge off. Thanks for tonight. You could definitely use a gift. I was thinking if there was some kind of fruit or something. Anybody in chat have an idea about what kind of a gift Seven would like? Like, I'd kind of assume Dark Eyeliner fits with the Stardom thing, but I could be wrong. I love this description of a potted succulent. Self-sustaining, enduring, yet soft, and inspiration. The silver ring might fit as well, but... I don't know, I feel like I gotta save that succulent for someone, though. Yeah, well, that's the other thing. I don't know if these gifts... I actually don't know if these gifts have a... like, if there's a special meaning for certain... for certain characters. And I don't know if this is the sort of thing I want to, like, search for, or if I just want to go with it. You know what? Let's try giving him the eyeliner. Out of all of the characters, this probably feels like the most appropriate one. And again, I am totally just running into the stereotype of, like, everything that's related to a star. Like, everything about a star is related to their stardom. Like, in another sense, it's like, yeah, I'm more than a famous person. That's why we're hanging out. So, like, that's the one kind of problem that I have with it. But let's do our best. Thank you. I've been wanting one of these. I mean, that's a pretty generic response, so I'm sure there's somebody that might have been more appropriate for, but maybe we haven't met them. God, that Eric guy. You actually dated him? I don't care if you date other people. But that guy? Ugh, I'm so sorry. It was my first date ever. Wow, that's so much worse. You poor thing. I'm lucky you didn't give up on dating forever. Thanks. I hope you enjoyed your apples. You know, okay, I would immediately go from sort of like, meh, but slightly warming up to 7 if instead of saying, thanks, hope you enjoyed your apples, 7 said, how do you like them apples? But this is why I'm not a writer for this game. Right, so that's going to be Pocket and Sunder. Oh, I'm actually going to properly get dressed for Valeria. I have deliberately decided to bring the sunglasses as opposed to something that will cover my purple hair because I very much imagine that this character will definitely think that sunglasses during the middle of the night is better stealth than like a toque. The museum looks deserted when you reach it. In the dark, it looks somehow forbidding. It's quiet. Too quiet. You shiver involuntarily. Maybe that's why you nearly jump out of your skin when a hand descends on your arm. Another hand covers your mouth as you're pulled down an alley. Shh, it's just me. Sorry. The Roses of Venus have been doing graffiti for years. I've been doing this for years. You're in good hands. I promise. This is gonna be fun. I am... Valeria smiles crookedly, her eyes glinting in the half-light. You're just so, Are we in a hurry? No, I mean, yes, but you look so wild, free, full of abandon. Can't you feel it? Like there's something vast moving through you. Like you want to turn yourself inside out to show the world all the wonder that's inside of you? She pulls you into her arms without another word, and you can hear her breathe in.
Thanks.
It's good to trust someone again. Thanks. Valeria's foot jostles in the black duffel bag at her feet, and it jangles. She springs back with a hiss and glances around. I don't think anyone heard that. Lucky. She casts you a rueful look. You should focus on the Roses of Venus business. Ever bring anyone else? Another civilian, you mean? No, you're my first. Jess brought her fine art professor at college to one of their murals once. She tried to convince her to accept it as a final project. Did it work? Not at first, but Jess convinced her. She's good at convincing people to do things for her. Valeria hefts the bag over her shoulder and points towards the wall of the museum. This is a good wall. See how nice and smooth it is? I already primed it with some satin paint. It takes up the color better that way. She zips open the bag, revealing an array of spray paint cans, paintbrushes, and paint. Pick a color for me. I need inspiration. Jade green.
Huh?
Green can be for envy, but that's so limiting. Green is grass and forests and growth. This is not like significant or anything like that, but one thing that was true for me, I had a while, and I sometimes feel very scared that I fall back into this habit, and I think it actually sometimes drives me to be inclined to sort of pushing back when people expect or want me to do certain things. But definitely when I was younger, I would feel a tendency to want to, like, yeah, I kind of want to fit in. I mean, again, like, this is a natural thing that a lot of people feel, but a desire to fit in. But it would manifest in some really weird ways. So things like, my favorite color was green. It still is green. For a really long time, I would insist and even try and convince myself that it was blue because people who I quite liked blue. So, like, I had to pick green there because, like, no. I gotta reaffirm that yes, green is my favorite color. So, like I said, that's not like a major significant choice. I didn't just have like a big moment for myself, but I always like it when I'm given a chance to pick a color because it's my little check-in for myself that it's like, no, I'm picking green for myself because that's who I am. Valeria hefts the paint that you chose, juggling it from one hand to another. Impatient can attack in the middle of a roll. Ooh, that's Valeria's actually getting to be quite a good weapon now. Her face is thoughtful, almost preoccupied. She turns to look at you, and her eyes. For a moment, you feel almost alone, as though Valeria isn't with you. As if the world around you is tissue thin. Beneath it, something blazes with color. And just as quickly, the moment is gone.
Huh?
Did you feel that? Her voice sounds shaky. You're not sure what your voice will sound like when you say, yes. I wish I could say that's never happened to me before. But right now, we have a job to do. She marks the surface of the wall, dividing it up into halves and then quarters. After a moment's hesitation, Valeria hands you a paint can. You're my muse, aren't you? Paint something. A line? Just let the walls speak to you. That's what I do. You take a deep breath and lift the paint can in your hand. The sound of sirens tear through the night all around you. Oh, shit! She grabs her bag and your free hand and begins to run. A voice hisses softly from a nearby shadow. Psst! Valentine, over here, this way.
Huh?
Jake, what are you doing here? Saving your asses. What the hell do you think I'm doing over here? You're here to save me? I'm mostly here to save her, but I doubt she'd leave you behind. This is a Rose's Venus job. I'm still a Rose, and I'm here to help. Come on, Valentine. I'm still on your side. I took your side against my own sister. Alfred, whatever's between you and me, I'd never betray Val.
Huh.
I believe him. Siren sounds far too close for comfort. Do you want us all to get arrested? We need to go. Fine. You all start running, following Jake, 3 silhouettes flying down the alleys. As soon as you leave the sirens behind, only the sound of your own breathing and a crunch of gravel. You can't stop your hands from shaking for some time, even after you arrive home. Whew. It's a good thing Jake was there. That was close. Oh yeah, I should probably change my outfit. I should probably stop by Isaac. So I'm skipping Pacifica Park for the next little bit, just because it's 2 and 1. Oh man, I completely forgot about Rowan. Let's take care of Rowan first. You find Rowan waiting outside the mansion. They give you a brief nod. I suppose you want me to invite you in for tea because people do that. Why'd you send a riddle? Oh yeah, okay. This is really embarrassing. So after the cast, I sat down and I looked at the note where I was doing the riddle. If I just bothered to read only the proper upright numbers, it's 10 digits. There was no riddle. If I just bothered to read the correct digits, that would have probably been the right number. I mean, I'll never know for sure. But I'm spending all of this time trying to work out some weird cipher, and it probably would have been fine for me to just skip the numbers that were upside down. Yeah. Anyways, why'd you send a riddle? It's just a message with multiple layers. Now let's go. I've waited long enough. I was gonna look for an herb or on the mountain. On the mountain. Crowley thought you might want to help. The bird looks at you pointedly from Rowan's shoulder. Nice to meet you, Crowley. Crowley bobs his head, clicking his beak.
Pretty human.
If he vouches for you, that's good enough for me. Let's get going. And enjoy a hike.
Yes.
It's settled then. They start walking off towards the hills. You walk together along the narrow trail in silent companionship. Here, Alice once found laurel sumac and black sage here somewhere. Since the hike is over, you probably want to sit down. Please. Just rest here, right on this rock. I'll be back. I'll chat with Crowley.
No.
He's coming with me. We'll handle this. Stay put. They wade into the underbrush without looking back. You wait for a while. The breeze is soft and the sun is warm. You realize you are sitting in hogweed. Game over. But I can only take so much breeze and sun. You start feeling antsy. Wait patiently. Your eyes slide over the landscape, your mind drifting away. You startle at the sound of footsteps and realize you fell asleep. Wow, you actually waited? Must be less chaotic than I'd assumed. I found the laurel sumac, but not the black sage. I wonder, would you like to offer a gift? Well, we're already maxed out, so I'm not entirely clear as to whether or not the points cross over once you've hit sort of lock level, so... Oh well, it's too late anyway. Oh, wait a minute, plants, of course. I should have given a plant. What do you wonder?
No.
It doesn't matter. I have to face this. It's just me now. Alfred, I have something important to ask you. Heavy finishers create temporary gravity well, pulling enemies towards its center. Okay, we are definitely using Rowan in the next dungeon. If you were to wield me, what would be your end goal? Strength. Power. The oldest temptation. Perhaps whether arcane or profane. I suppose if I were weak of will, I'd seek strength too. They lead you down the mountain, silent in thought. At the edge of town, they pull a black rectangle from their pocket. Our dark prisms are connected. They poke their prism and your phone vibrates. I don't know if our purposes align quite, but call on me if souls need harvesting.
Farewell.
Farewell for now.
Goodbye.
They go on their separate way, and you head home. Our journey's begun. We are the fool. Next, the magician. Indeed. Though I've lost my high priestess. Hey, so, I'm really very sorry for how I acted when we met. I was really emotional, and I took it out on you, and that was wrong. Please, can you forgive me? Forgiven. Thank you. Godspeed. So it looks like we can't make the eyeliner again. So I should probably do some circuits around the city a little bit more, because I'm wondering how long Rowan was waiting for us to follow up. I mean, not that I need more weapons for the dungeon. I'm definitely kind of hitting the limits of what I can pull off each run.
Well, hello.
You meet Isaac outside Brooks Associates and knock on the door. You can't go in there. Oh, can't I? Come in. Oh, sorry, that was not the assistant. The assistant shrugs and gets out of the way. Here goes. Can I really do this? I'm with you. Thanks. You hold his elbow and go inside together. Ah, Mr. Brooks, I don't believe you have an appointment. Your assistant wouldn't make me one. Why would she? Apparently, I'm not your father anymore, so you're a nobody to me. Worse than a nobody. You're just the failure I've replaced. I'm gonna let Isaac handle this on his own. Isaac gives you a grateful look and squeezes your hand. But why are you doing this, Vincent? Why replace me at all? Even if you wanted to spite me, you must hate this. You always said that jobs were for people who paid taxes. Yes, but you were making such a mess that I had to step in. My name was already on the door. This is a new low, but I only came here to tell you to your face that I don't care.
Yes.
It's your company, and I don't mind. All of my money is going to charity anyway. It was a mistake to think that I could help people with venture capital. Good. I'm so very glad that you're happy. I'm selling off this dunge nonsense, by the way. Some Silicon Valley nut job can have it. We'll be investing in solid, timeless products. Computers, coasters, pens, staplers. Are those just things that you can see on your desk right now? No, I don't even own a stapler. Ha! I haven't seen a stapler in years. It must be in hot demand. I should double my investment. You know what? It doesn't matter. I'm going to have a fulfilling life with or without you, and help people as best I can.
Right.
When you want to be a part of it, you can treat me with respect. And you can treat me with respect. You let me know. Squeeze his hand. Right of way, riposte does more damage. You turn to leave together.
Isaac?
Wait. 1 second. I won't have you thinking this is all about you. Taking over my firm isn't about me? Well. Father and son stare at each other in silence for a moment. Very well, I suppose it is, a little bit. I thought having a son would give me an ally, a representative. Instead, I find you intending to give away everything and ruin the Brooks legacy. Vincent, I appreciate the time and care that you and Mom put into raising me, but you always said that you wanted to trust me to make my own decisions. Why are you surprised? I said that because I thought you would make the right decisions, obviously. But at least I found one competent person, at least. Christine, get in here. Yes, sir. Is there a problem? I'm going public with the news. Welcome to the family, Miss Brooks.
Oh?
What? Christine's my daughter, at least as far as the inheritance is concerned.
Isaac?
Brooks' legacy can't be allowed to sink into the mug. Sorry, Isaac. I'm sure you understand. I'm not sure I do. How could I say no? Unbelievable. Vincent clears his throat. Isaac leaves without a word. You should both be ashamed. Oh, no, you don't. Mr. Brooks doesn't have time for you today, or any day. The door slams firmly behind you. You don't see Isaac anywhere in the office. You find him outside, seemingly enjoying the sunshine.
Well, hello.
Well, I'm free. How should we celebrate? Free? Sorry, that's probably the wrong word. I'll be sad later, I'm sure. But I'll mostly be sad thinking of what my father and I could have had, what I wanted us to have. As for the money, I wanted it to go to charity, but that's out of my hands now. Right now, in this moment, realizing I owe nothing to that man is a relief. Well, not just a relief, also an emptiness. I confess I'd rather not be alone tonight. How about pizza? That does sound comforting. At my place, maybe? I mean, I don't want to push you if you're uncomfortable. It'd just be friends, a sleepover of sorts, in my guest room. Or we could just find a restaurant instead. Where do you want to go? We'll go to his place. Isaac leads you home, warning you that it's a mess. That's a mess? You share a bottle of wine and chat until you're both sleepy. He tucks you into the guest room. Sleep tight, mon ami. Eventually, you drift off to sleep. In the morning, you wake up and he's already dressed. I have fencing class to get to. Can't be late. I know we didn't talk about my father much, but you were still a great comfort to me. Thank you for the wonderful evening. You head home. I have no words. Maybe this is what emojis are for. Stars. Never mind, that was terrible. Forget it happened. I'd rather focus on the lovely evening. Thank you for hosting. What a summer it's been. And it all started in the dungeon. Alright, we'll do Sunder first, then Pocket. You find Sunder waiting at a bench, listening to the crickets.
Hey.
Hey, cutie. You've been working hard, huh? Going to the dungeon, making friends. I don't know how you do it. You work and just keep working. Maybe it's just because it's been 200 years, but life seems exhausting to me. You sound burned out. Yeah, probably. Well, not by the sun, eh? Heyo! I don't know. Vampire life was cool at first. I guess everything loses appeal over time. Even me?
Nah.
No, definitely not. Sunder clears his throat. Would you like to offer a gift? You decide not to give a gift right now.
Mm?
So, was there anything you wanted to ask me about the vampire situation? What's the deal with Mandy? Mandy's my blood mother. Has been since 1812 or so. I was a nobody in... is it Benares? I hope I got that right. Benares, India. When she found me, turned me and took me in. So here I am, eternally young, because she liked my face. I haven't been lovers in a long time, if that's what you're wondering. You literally drink blood?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's not bad. Mixes well with vodka. I almost don't miss normal food. Except fried dough. I'd kill to eat a donut, but even donut makers don't taste similar. Sad stuff. Can you turn into a bat? What, turning into a sword isn't enough for you? But no, I can't. No invisibility either. At least not yet. Maybe when I get older? Yeah, I hope no older vampires are watching us right now. Creepy. But I am allergic to sunlight, garlic, and churches. Oh well. Are there werewolves too? Short answer, no. Long answer, death wolves have some moon-related baggage. But they've never migrated to California, so I wouldn't worry about it. No more questions here. Now I get to ask you a question. The tables turn. Shrapnel. Enemies who die while bleeding can explode. I wonder if there's more levels than 6. Fair warning, it's a bit of a doozy. I've been feeling restless and purposeless for the last 50 years or so. What would you do with 200 years? What do you really, really want? Honestly. Happiness? Yeah, same here. I just want to enjoy life, you know, every moment. Too bad everything is so much work. Even just thinking about the next 100 years is so tiring. Everything reminds me of death. It's like all rotting and doomed. Spotlight stolen from werewolves yet again. Oh well, I'm sure you didn't come to hear me whine. Poor me, right? Jesus! I got a sharp edge, this body, and infinite nights left. I shouldn't be complaining. One day at a time. Yep, that's my style. Or in my case, one night at a time, huh? I should head home before the evil sun cooks me.
See ya.
He gives you a wave and saunters into the dark. You head home. I'm not sure if it's supposed to say Sunder says you head home, but... not much to do in the daytime here. Mostly just talk to the spiders. How's your day going? Same old. That's life, I guess. Work, work. The dungeon feels less like work with you, though. I'll say that. All right. I do need to wrap up. I mean, it's 2 in the morning here, and I did want to make sure I did a full cast. We're already almost half an hour past, but I don't know. It's nice to chat about the game. Hopefully this wasn't a complete waste for people. I won't be doing another dungeon run, but we will just wrap up the date so that we can start getting some levels in the dungeon and carry on. Probably not in a week. I'll cover that in a little bit, but I really need to drink some water. Okay. You find a familiar orange cat, tail flicking. You sit on a bench nearby. His collar still reads Pocket. Remember me? He seems not to hear you and yawns. He then stands and stretches luxuriously, seemingly ignoring you. Pocket quickly becomes distracted and tenses up, looking at the pond next to you. You follow his game and see happy ducks enjoying the weather. Pocket stares intently at the ducks, mouth slowly falling open. Gonna pounce? Pocket licks his paw. This is clearly not a contact sport. SWAT. Finishers immobilize enemies, but they can still attack. Pocket looks at you expectantly, tail flicking. So, you're a cat? Pocket stretches, arching his back.
Hey.
Your scintillating conversation is interrupted by someone approaching. Oh, chance meeting, my favorite kind. This must be your valiant protector against the evil ducks. Pocket blinks lazily in the sunlight, a soft purr starting up. I do like the callback to the ducks. I mean, I'm assuming that's why it's Valeria that showed up, but I was definitely not expecting the duck thing to come back up. Can I pet him? And he lets you. She offers her hand to him, but he hisses when she tries to move closer. Fair enough. Everyone deserves to set their own boundaries, I guess. I just took a walk to clear my head. Gotta get back to work. And away from these ducks. You be careful around them.
Ciao.
She waves goodbye, and you watch her walk away. When you look back, you realize Pocket has also left while you were distracted. You sit for a while longer, and then head home. He made it home safely. His claws looked healed. Looked healed too. He's a good cat. He's too smart to be good. Too many ideas and plans. I know it sounds crazy, but never mind. Oh look, he's ready to go out again. Let him out. False alarm. He came back inside. Never mind. Maybe next time. All right. I think that's it for tonight. I really do want to do some more. I really would like to do some more of this. If anything, I'd like to get another round of La Rosa in, but I need to be a little more responsible with the time that I'm wrapping things up. I really did not get a lot of what I wanted to do done tonight, so I'm probably going to have to give up some of the weekend for that. But, I mean, that's what it is. I do want to just quickly give sort of a heads up for the plans in the oncoming week. So Monday's cast should be fine. That will be some more Stellaris. We may actually finish that Stellaris run tonight, but Wednesday and Friday's broadcasts will very likely not happen. The biggest reason for that is I'm going to be going to Vancouver on Wednesday. I'm actually going to be getting a chance to meet some people who I haven't seen before, and some people who I haven't seen since I moved from Vancouver, so I am very much looking forward to doing this trip. But I do realize that means that it will keep me from the broadcast. So, Monday cast for sure. Tuesday night, there will be another Oblivion episode. I've actually recorded a few things ahead of time. So overall, as far as the pre-recorded stuff, it's pretty much ready to go. I would definitely love some feedback as to whether or not you'd like to see some pre-recorded videos on Twitch. Because, of course, I do have the option of doing reruns. I think Twitch will actually allow me to do 24 hours worth of reruns. So, you know, I kind of have enough material to keep the, keep stuff going. So, like, a great example would be if somebody wants to catch up on the Oblivion playthrough. Like, I'm sure for the days that I'm gone, I can just kind of let those things run from the start. I know I wouldn't be able to do it, like, from the Elder Scrolls Arena to Oblivion. That would basically... I've actually timed it out. I figured out exactly how many hours of Elder Scrolls I have, and it's an embarrassing number. I'll maybe report it, like, when I'm done the whole... like, when I'm finished, like, what I'm going to record of it. But that's maybe another conversation. But yeah, the important thing on this is that I'm going to be wrapping. Sorry, I'm not going to be wrapping up. I'm not going to be around for Wednesday and Friday. Whether or not I can do extra streams to make up for it, I'm really not sure. But it's actually the first proper like vacation I've taken basically since moving out to Ottawa. So, and I don't know. There's some stuff I'm really looking forward to. Not sure how much of it I can say or want to talk about, but I don't know. I'll give like a debrief when all is said and done. But it's something I'm looking forward to, even if it means that we will be apart for a while. The week following that, though, I really want to try, especially so basically November moving forward. The one thing that it has occurred to me this month is that between holidays and just general problems, whether they're technical problems or timing or whatever, this has been a really volatile month as far as broadcasts are concerned. And if I'm honest, like I'd really like to make sure that there's a bit more stability in terms of the broadcasts. So again, there's been nice stuff. For those of you that didn't get a chance to see it, like on Steam, there was another 11-hour broadcast. That'll be going on YouTube. It's actually uploaded on YouTube now, but they're going to be processing it for God knows how long. But yeah, it's one of these things where I'd feel better if I could have like my start times be a little more regular and just, tighten a few of the bolts on the stream and such. There'll still be Tuesday Oblivion. There'll still be, Monday Stellaris. I'll still be doing Brace Yourself games on Wednesdays and whenever I get a chance. But basically as much as I can, actually. And then sort of for the oncoming Fridays, unless I'm out of town, I'll definitely be doing more Boyfriend Dungeon until we complete it. But I would definitely like to, in addition to just making sure that I get a little more regular at the start times with the casts, the other thing I want to try and do is be a little more regular in terms of some of the writing. I definitely want to get back into the habit of that. And then while I don't have the full setup that I was hoping for, I do actually want to start recording some audio things because I know that has been a big request that people have had. And I don't know, like I want to find a way of maybe trying... I have a few ideas for it, let's just say. And I think it's better to just try and get practice rather than sort of wait for the ideal setup. But let's quit to the main menu and let's find somebody to host. I want to go to the main menu just so I can hear the music again. Also, thank you for those of you who tolerated the very silly Disco Elysium sidebar. Yeah, thank you very much, Sean. I'll admit, it's really nice to see you again, even if it is virtually. I hope you've been keeping well, and I'm sure we can have like a proper catch up sooner or later. But again, I hope you're doing well. I do hope you get a chance to try this. But I mean, the one thing that has been fun on Twitter, I don't know, like Twitter's weird because I get to read it, but I don't get to like actively participate with it unless I think I have something clever to say. And I mean, if that's an indicator of what I think is clever to say, then I am not nearly as clever as I think I am. But I actually really like kind of seeing your words, your debriefs on some of the games that you've been playing. They're fun. They're kind of contributing to my own backlog, but it's neat, particularly because some of the stuff you've been talking about is, it's just something that some of these I haven't seen before, so it's brought them on my radar, which is something I always appreciate. I also need to take a quick second here. I know Boyfriend Dungeon was like the biggest thing ever when it came out. Oh my goodness, I'm the only one doing it right now. That's a shame. This game definitely deserves more than... Like, again, it had a huge release, and then it kind of seems to have fallen off. Fair enough. We got Night Valiant streaming tonight, so he was in here a little bit earlier, and like I said, he is a safe choice at the end of the night. Soft-voiced Brazilian streamer, likes doing a lot of indies. Actually, I found him playing a Kitfox game, so it is an appropriate fit. And he is playing The Good Life, so I will leave you all in his capable hands. I do highly recommend that you stick around and check him out. He is a smaller streamer, but he has been growing, and I've actually been delighted by the number of you who are sticking around and checking out his stuff. So until next time, thank you all for watching. Thank you very much, Olaf. It's good to hear the system talk's appreciated, because sometimes I worry I do a little too much of it. But have a good one. I will see some of you on Monday, and for those of you waiting for more Boyfriend Dungeon, I will see you in 2 weeks. I hope you still stick around. Until next time, have a good one.